What's going on, everybody? Sorry about that little hiccup. It was some weird shit that just happened. But anyway, we're back with another video. I was finishing up last night and I didn't get a chance to. But, see that little thing in the middle in his helmet there? That little, what looks like an eye? It's not an eye. It's a reflection of a spacecraft. A space anomaly, if you will. Yeah, so we've just been chilling on the No Man's Sky trying to get shit done.
Yes, and that small streamer leaked it to a large streamer, Ethan Ralph. Yeah, if you don't want people talking about your dick, don't have sex with streamers. Like, again, this is just part of it. And if you ask Destiny, if you
Mr. Girl, Destiny, Lav, fucking Discord wrong is fucking stupid. Fucking Destiny's wrong, Mr. Girl is fucking retarded and really wrong, and fucking Lab is a lying bitch and she's wrong. Like, everybody's wrong in this situation.
But no, yeah, it is actually a little bit hurtful. You've got like a prior hookup partner that had a good experience, and you know you had a good experience, so I know it wasn't a friend. Yeah, he's talking shit, speaking and lying about that sex. Yeah, it actually does matter. It is pretty cool. And it is pretty cool. You gotta try to have both ways. If you can't handle, or you're hurt by or upset by, you don't want to
Go pick up some fungal mode.
That's going to happen. But somebody gossiping about you, and then that gossip getting aired out in public is not a justification. Pretty sure the retaliation came from her comparing me to Harvey Weinstein. Constantly, it's like imagine if Eric was gotten like this, right? So she could have theoretically been talking shit. That is cool. Where stuff goes to your left, where you're going. Yeah, America brought that up. Or I'm pretty sure It's actually not. It's exceptionally rare. If Lab gets shit on after aggressively attacking people, that's crazy abuse. You're not making a point. You're just saying things. You don't mean anything. It's like a tone of voice where you're like, oh, yeah, another problem too, and I think this probably goes into the narcissism, is Max talks a lot about like what internet community should do, how they should regulate their voice, but he doesn't really have much experience in that. Like you can tell from the catastrophe that is his own subreddit, like he doesn't really understand like how this works or how we should conduct ourselves or how we should moderate. Like, there's no fucking reason he's an amateur here. He's a newcomer. He has no idea. So he's trying to tell us everyone like holy shit. Bro, you have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. You only exist here because I fucking brought you up into this world, and now you're trying to act like you're the expert. What are you talking about?
Oz eats a bowl of food, then it's one thing. But if a banana gets picked by a monkey and it eats it really fast, then the monkey gets its stomach ache. It literally doesn't mean anything. You could just say anything in that tone of voice, and or sentence structure, and it makes it sound like you're making a point, but you're actually not. If Lab gets shit on, you're using the passive. I'm just going to say, remember the power differential? If you don't think there is a power barely
case comes first. Is it new and standard plan? Yeah. Yeah, what did you say?
Just say it's continuing. You're on a diatribe.
No. It's gonna be every counter argument is exactly the same, so I can pause or resume it whenever.
It's kind of one of the things that you get because they're known for that. Actually, space talk and streamers. I'm not saying that's negative. I know the fact that a lot of things you don't
Yeah, that's not a negative. That's just going on. What's your with the faith honesty, what else would you like to grace us with, or is that what you want me to respond to?
Well, the wee things here, just see how many I can get through. The first thing is, actually I think might be interesting, because actually I am curious here, because person's actually, I can't remember the first video of yours was I saw, was there maybe one of your like video essays?
Yeah.
And I do think you are genuinely quite talented, and like, you come across unique perspectives and stuff. I actually do what you get, but and I do think it's a crime. And that would be very. Said in your last hallway that you're doing this because
I didn't say I'm doing it because it's my job.
Essentially,
I don't agree that I said that. Is this a question? A question statement?
absolutely. It's not a statement, it's a fucking question. Alright, you want to finish? You're sure I do.
Okay, good.
You definitely said before the game was to do it. There are people who do something. What does that make it? Well, John, he figures $14. There you go. But yeah, if you weren't doing this, your job, if you're still moving,
You're saying if I were still on YouTube,
it feels like people will say,
oh, it's not a question. I just think. Okay, go ahead. What do you think? What do you feel? What do you think? That's what I want to know. What's your answer to your own question?
it was purely a question because you said that it was your goal, but it's actually ridiculous.
I didn't say it wasn't my job. I said I didn't say I'm writing this article because people are paying me. My job is to do whatever I want. People are paying. People will pay. I can tell my supporters that I'm going to make a
but then it turns out actually she doesn't say exactly what Bianca was saying that she said. So something that's what I say that definitely said. The reason I'm doing this, this is not verbatim, but the part that you definitely did say is because you paid to do it. So I thought it was a difference if you're looking to it and it's a very small part of it. Jeff Nye said, people are paying me, well, actually, I'll stop you. Are people paying you via PayPal or any other fucking source of income to do this article? Because it seems like this, to get to the stable part, this is your last ditch effort as being an online blog creator, and that's what you've done. And this is like this is why you're going out to them. This is done out the way. Nothing left. If you're still on YouTube and on other platforms, what would you be doing? Would you feel so hell-bent on doing this?
He has to say yes.
Why don't you feel so passionate about this? Why don't you just answer? Sure, I think you would be doing other things. I think the whole question thing is down. Because, you know, what I'm not going to do, hearing you as another person all great. It's not to me. Yeah, it's not different. Yeah, I think it deeply bothers you. I got in tonight, you know, everything yesterday, that's what I'm doing at home. Like, I do empathize with you a lot of times, and I think, you know, I empathize with you in this sense of justice. I've actually,
Yeah, I did that last night. I was just making sure it's safe. You gotta be thorough.
Well, my schedule usually is I do 2 to 3 streams a week, one online and then one week. Oh my god, maybe 2. And I've been doing that, so I probably would be doing that and working on, and then I'm usually working on a larger project. And my larger project right now is this article. So I think I would probably be doing exactly what I'm doing. But that's just my own biased opinion. I don't know for sure, because I am banned. Right. So I guess we'll never know. I think that's what we will. Yeah. Yeah. What you think, big time for those already on the path, like how long you take to research, right?
whichever. So, in your last hotline, you, again, the one that you said that you're paid to do this because it's your job that you've completed. In your last hotline, you completely refused to admit doing any abuse towards your ex, and instead spent a long time telling a story about how your ex actually was the abusive one, who hurt
God, I wish you could get a hold of his ex.
and turned you away from your family. It seems that you can't admit fault, and you abdicated all responsibility.
Sorry, what? Cool, hit him with the what?
All of that again.
Okay.
You really want me to?
Yeah, sorry.
Apologize. So yeah, in your last hotline, you completely refused to admit doing any abuse towards your ex, and instead spent a long time telling a story about how your ex actually was the abusive one who hurt you and held a knife to you and turned you away from your family. You can't seem to admit fault in any capacity when it comes to whether it's online content, past relationships. It seems to be impossible. And you abdicate responsibility all the time.
Okay.
Again, why'd you do that?
Oh God, that Britney tweet. Oh no.
Yeah. Again, it's not even a quick statement because I used.
Oh no. Charlie must be in the most normie bubble ever, which is fine, totally cool, but he sex shames and seems very uncomfortable with more free sex liberation bubbles. Kind of interesting that Sneeko is much more progressive than Charlie in some ways. Sneeko literally just tweeted at me, W for no gay people in Dubai. Brittany, no! Oh no.
You have a platform. It's too fast like your mindset. If you are on the internet and you're speaking publicly, you have a platform. And you should be held to the same standards as somebody with a bigger platform.
Wait, who is he talking about? XQ6 times next week, Destiny, Mr. Girls one. That's just the Viviana drama. What is the Viviana drama? There isn't even a drama. This is old news. Why would she even bring it up?
They have a platform. It's not because you have less viewers, motherfucker. It's because you have less, they can do dumber shit. Okay? Stop acting. Okay? Like, because your impact is less negative, or doesn't reach that many people, okay? You can do more hatred and dumber shit.
To kind of advocate.
What's the third question?
When you shop Wayfair, you can't help but show off. Because with low prices on all things home, it's pretty much impossible to keep the deals to yourself.
We saved so much with Wayfair.
We've got the buy. And did you mention it was half off? I love it. Wow. So go ahead, tell them. Wayfair. Wayfair. Shop, save, and show off those big deals. Wayfair, you got just what I need.
I know every secret, every intimate disgrace. This man is using blackmail. Imagine White's face. Now you have to watch what happens next.
8 victims, who would do something like this?
Not me, Cassius, man.
I never met him. I just do what he tells me.
Detective Luther. Wait.
What to say here? Well, I want you to start with this one.
I don't do that. So why do I abdicate responsibility? I don't.
Oh, you absolutely do.
I disagree. What's the next question? You know on Netflix when they have the skip intro thing pop up? Can we do that?
No, you disagree. Tell me why you disagree. It seems like you can never admit when you're wrong. You can't seem to admit, you know what?
By your logic, I would be unable to answer this question. You're telling me somebody has
Can't ask me a question and then not like that. You've only got like 2 callers.
Alright, favorite.
So, after the article comes out, it's going to be concentrated. That's true. I don't like disagreeing with Max. Last fell on his partner, and there's no reason to treat anybody as badly as you have, but I don't think it's that way. Max wants to consider his experience. It's not that she's involved, right? Kind of helpful. She thinks that there's a power difference. Don't forget it, guys. And there is no way anyone can act. Yeah, no matter what they do or say, literally, that will make me think that Destiny's behavior towards Lab is not abusive. There is no amount of she deserved it that you can dump on that situation. Geez, Mr. Girl is in a sour mood today, it seems. Oh, that sour does not even begin to fucking describe it. My mood would melt the fucking shoes off your feet if you stepped in it. Hello? Hello? Hey. Hi.
I watched your talk with Sherry Bowman a few days ago about cyberbullying. I thought it was really good. I thought it was really interesting. Especially the stuff about the connection with sadism. And also about it being easier to commit sadistic acts as a cyberbully if you see the other person as subhuman or other in some sense.
New camera angle.
And then I was thinking about that because I feel that you're easily otherized.
Yeah.
You agree with that?
You mean just because I'm a little odd?
Well, I don't know about what else is a bit loaded. I think...
About your what?
Well, why would you not agree with that?
I think
Actually, don't want to start with the plots. Only to find somebody Yell onto his Dr. Kate.
oh, I'm not the weird. You know that type of humor when somebody says, that wasn't weird at all. Right, guys? Yeah. I really don't like that.
Orbital station coordinates received.
I guess people don't like being a target of that type of humor, so they'll join in and be like, yeah, that was weird, yeah. And I don't like that. I'm like, okay, I'm weird. Okay, that's fine. I think I just don't really I don't pull into my shell in those situations. In fact, I do the opposite. I ooze out of my shell. I'm the first naked turtle that you've ever seen. I am a naked turtle. I will call all that shell. Yeah. So I think that I think it's kind of part of the reason for the difference between my interactions with experts, where like academics, where I'll tell them stuff and they're like, oh, that's they never do that. They're never like, you did what? Like for the most part, some of them do, but most of them don't. Whereas if you're in the high school holy destiny sphere, then everyone is constantly trying to make sure that they are like the cool kids all the time. So I was about myself. Okay, I don't.
react in a way detrimental. Yeah. I think I see that.
When people are watching me or Lab get bullied, there's part of their brain that's like, I would never do any of the stuff they did, so all they had to do was not be themselves. All they had to do was be like a giant pussy like me. If they just kept all of their thoughts and their feelings to themselves, this wouldn't happen. All you have to do is be one of the cool people. It's almost like a they hate us because they hate us.
I find it useful, interesting, incredibly uncomfortable to watch them because I feel like they're risky, vulnerable, but it's funny. I respect, I admire that. He's right. That's better, even if it's more insane. Yeah. And so I think what you I watch a lot of streamers. Well, no, that's a lie. What I mean is I watch both you and Destiny. I don't really have a preference. I interact more with your community, but I think like it's very easy to go back to a Destiny frame of mind, or just a conventional guarded frame of mind of the world. And I don't think Destiny's frame is conventional. I think that's actually what makes it called. Well, it's extreme. No, he has a very odd frame. He has a lot of beliefs and a lot of blind spots that are very, very weird. And if you explain them to a normal person, I think they'll be like, this guy is really weird and insane. But he frames himself as hyper normal and logical. There's this dual narrative where Destiny is a unique, unusual person with unusual relationships, unusual sex life, and unusual positions, but also that he has the most normal, protected, safe, logical position in life possible, and everything he does and says makes sense. True. It is. That is. I think that's what makes it a cult.
That you're being sold a very abnormal mindset and philosophy as obvious and normal.
I don't agree. I think it's conventional to be somewhat guarded in a sense where you don't show your feelings. I think it's
not somewhat guarded.
No. That's why I say it's extreme. I'm saying it's extreme version of a somewhat normal state of being of guarded.
I don't agree with that at all.
Okay. But you just kind of said he's not somewhat guarded, so you're kind of saying he is extremely guarded.
You're doing it right now. That's normal. By being an extreme version of normal. But that's abnormal.
Yeah. I didn't say he's normal. I said his extremity makes him abnormal, but it's coming from a place where
all in sync or on a spectrum. Yes, but you're making it sound like Destiny is somehow different from like any other crazy person. Like I'm not really seeing the distinction. Just in your framing. Like it's normal to want to grab a girl's ass. It's normal to get angry at a girl. It's normal if you're really angry to want to hit a woman. Those are normal feelings. It's not normal to strangle and rape a bunch of women and kill them. That makes you a serial killer. That's abnormal. And yet you could take each component of that and say, well, no. It's normal. It's just extreme. And what I'm wondering is, what is the word normal then doing in that sentence? Like, yes, it's an interesting thing to. Okay, do you get the point I'm making?
I get the point. I feel like you put normal in my mouth.
You said, I think you said conventional or traditional?
In regards to him being conventional.
Yes. Is normal not an acceptable substitute for conventional?
Well, no. I guess no, you're right. I did say that.
Stop.
Uh-oh.
Is normal an acceptable substitute for conventional?
Sorry, I wasn't thinking. Yeah.
Yes, okay. So, again, my point is that there's often a dual narrative about Destiny. And the dual narrative is, he is very unusual and weird and kind of crazy. It's sociopathic. He calls himself a sociopathic psychological abuser.
True.
Openly.
Yeah.
He said these things.
Which is
But
weird.
also, that he's very normal in doing the most logical, sensible thing that anybody would do.
True.
Mm-hmm.
I am.
So, I think that's like what I was saying earlier. I don't know if you heard it when I was saying if he's going to have a cult protecting him, he should teach them to know when they're being weird, because otherwise it just comes off as like insane to outsiders.
I'm 100% on your side through the divorce, but Max did have a few really good insights that I don't want to lose focus of him losing focus on the sanity. I don't agree with the peeps that say his backstory was an obvious outcome. Okay.
This is what I'm talking about, where you seem to have a way of like framing extremely abnormal behavior as normal because it's an extension of normal. The devil is talking to me in their own shit on a padded wall. But that is an extension of normal behavior. It's just cranked up. But by applying this framing sequence, you still are simultaneously define both normal and weird at the same time.
Yeah, I see that for sure. I guess the point of why I said that was just more to say initially he was easy to identify with than you were. You were like a hit to the head with a rock really hard, where he was just like a mild sting of, which might say more about me, to be honest. I'm not saying that's the case for everyone, but.
Okay.
So I guess that's why I'm saying from that lens, which it was easy for me to, and I keep falling back into it. When if I look at your behavior, it seems so abnormal, and sometimes to an extent that it's just not real. You become
okay. Now tell me a behavior that I have. Let's play.
Again.
Yeah, you're gonna tell me a behavior I have that you think is abnormal, and then I'm gonna try to convince you that it's not the behavior, but the framing.
Well, that's kind of I'm really saying that read that to me. Okay. Sure. I think in Destiny's framing, it would be ridiculous to go on stream and openly talk honestly about your feelings and about the whole art situation, just your relationship with Destiny, other streamers in general with Lab. I think doing that stream is something that would be ungodly in the way you did that.
Okay, to me, Destiny is very transparently upset about this whole situation.
Does he still say he like loves me and stuff?
In my frame, calling someone a rapist because you were angry at them and feel betrayed by them is very insane. It's not a good way to handle your bad feelings. And it doesn't even... It the audience doesn't come away thinking that you're not upset. I know they're saying that, but I don't think they really believe that. So it would be less embarrassing. What the bad part about saying your feelings is that you're vulnerable and you're embarrassed. And it sucks to have to admit that you're hurt or you're angry.
Also strategically as well. A bit.
The bad thing about telling people having bad feelings.
Let's just get back to things. I mean, if I'm speaking about mental abuse or about alcohol, that means doing an alcohol use.
Actions of the do not have an effect on other people, then there's no such thing as emotional abuse or psychological abuse. There's not even a such thing as sexual abuse, or sexual misconduct. That's why sexual misconduct is bad. That's why you're not supposed to fuck people who work for you. Because psychologically it can harm them. But if there's no such thing...
That's not actually the reason why.
If feelings are psychological harm, then there can't be any abuse. So by rejecting the premise that people even have feelings, which I believe he does for his own personal psychological reasons, for his own pain. Why is it true also?
Please, mind
I
read me.
the very premise that psychological and emotional abuse be founded on is that people have feelings and that people affect each other's feelings. Everyone knows that's why he is doing a lot of what he's doing, because he's upset.
I denied that.
But there's a dual narrative, again, that Destiny is extremely upset. You betrayed him. You betrayed your good friend. You're harassing him. You're DMing all of these women in his life.
That was pretty weird.
You are abusing him. How do you think that makes him feel? But also, Destiny is unbothered by this. Destiny is laughing about this. Destiny doesn't care about this at all. He's not even going to read the article. But those things can't both be true. If the article upsets Destiny, if the process of investigating upsets Destiny so much, clearly he buys into the premise that people have feelings. And
When am I not? When I say I'm not bothered, it's usually in response to people saying, like, are you nervous? They feel like expose you as being a psychopath. In that case, no, I'm not. But, like, am I bothered that some guy is, like, DMing false allegations to, like, every woman that's ever going to take me out before? Like,
people can be made to feel really bad.
he's, like, living in both, in, like, these two different kinds of worlds right now, where he's, like, trying to say, I don't understand what he's getting at here.
Like some saying, do you agree that from his framing it would be odd to do the actions in the way that he done them?
In his framing,
When the insurance
All right, guys, we're moving on to Papa Gut.
Then you probably need a lawyer. If you've been injured in an accident, call us for a free consultation. There are no fees unless we collect money for you. The Link Law Firm, protecting your rights.
Bro, one more time.
Just peanut butter. If that just ain't good, ludicrous. You got it. Let's see what we got here. Good afternoon, fellas. Let's see what we got here. What up, guys?
There were...
Hi, Dubs.
You know, before we carry on with
Yes, I did get you salad fish, bro. I was able to secure the salads. I was able to secure the salads for you, man. I was able to secure the salads.
Why the fuck do you keep saying that?
Don't you worry about it. Sneako, ironically, that's Silly Goose. That's what it should have been called. That's what I'm going to name the video, I think. I have 2.5 extra hours, so if I work 10:30 to 4:30, how much time do I still left? Okay. You have a half hour then. So you also work 10 to 6, so 10:30 to 4:30, that's 2 hours of work that you're not doing. So you have an extra half an hour to take back still. Jenny was streaming YouTube last night, and when I was kicking, saw a thumbnail of 2 girls going crazy on a Schmeat. Damn. That's crazy. You know, I'm kind of curious about, actually, a little bit. I saw this. The world, I'm kind of curious about this huge drama.
the world is in a very weird state right now.
I'm actually kind of curious about this, because I saw... Give me a second. It's from that. Yeah, I'm kind of curious about this, because I keep seeing clips about TwitchCon, or whatever, Twitch Streamer Awards, where I saw, like, Hassan and stuff there, and, like, I don't know, somebody apparently plugged Kick, and, like, I don't know, some crazy stuff's been going on. And apparently, though, unrelated, Drew Afuelo was at, like, the Oscars or Emmys or something. Crazy world living in, guys. Never would I have thought that social media would be relevant enough to get you in somewhere more mainstream. So, but hey, here we are, baby. So I'm kind of curious about what's going on here. Huge drama at the street.
The world is in a very weird state right now. Corruption has sucked its fangs into everything around us. The price of eggs just keeps going up. You
Yeah.
get a single...
I just got a bunch of... I think I got 2 dozen eggs at Costco for $15. I think that's a good deal. But I don't know, because I don't really shop. My wife usually does. But that sounds like a good deal, right? So...
The price of eggs is the same price as downtown on everybody. I can't believe the wacky state of the world, actually. Who would have thought? But by far, the biggest display of injustice in our society was something that took place last night at the Streamer Awards. The Streamer Awards are an annual, high-quality production spearheaded by Cutie Cinderella.
Is it like a meme? Is it really high quality? Or...
It's an event that every human being on the planet looks forward to.
Oh, this is the thing. Is this the thing that Cutie Cinderella got upset about because XQC didn't go or something ridiculous, and like Hassan was crying about this too? Is that what we're talking about? Or like this was the biggest deal in the world because show your support, blah blah blah. Like, okay.
Every year, and they make the Oscars ceremony look like a participation trophy award show for the second string JV sports club in a high school. It's an amazing and fun event that just brings everyone in the space together to just have some fun.
You think this is how Charlie really feels, or you think this is a little bit of schmoozing, you know, backdoor schmoozing a little bit? Because he's a Twitch person, so you know what I mean? Is it really that extravagant? Because it sounds kind of lame and cringe, to be absolutely honest with you. A Twitch streamer award sounds really cringe. But...
And it's voted on by fans to just kind of celebrate the fame. As you all know, last year I was the recipient of the prestigious Variety Streamer.
That's why he likes it, because he's a bias, guys. Cancels this guy for having a bias. The Sneaky Awards.
This year, Radio Silence. I was nominated for anything. Now, me being an adult and being a strong, hulking, masculine embodiment of what it means to be a testosterone-fueled type, I can handle that. I'm okay with it. I understand. But not everyone is as mentally strong or has my level of fortitude. So there were riots, there were protests at the Streamer Awards ceremony. And I kind of just want to talk about that a little bit.
Really?
I think it's important too.
Wait, why would you riot Streamer Awards? Like, how relevant? Who cares? What?
Good at you, man. Huh? You're like a man.
Oh, it was just him. Oh, it's just people writing that he wasn't there. Is that the whole thing about?
So,
Okay, I don't care. Sorry, that was it. I'm not going to watch any further. I thought it was going to be something relevant. Hey, but you know what? Sometimes you shit, sometimes you fart, sometimes you fart. Sometimes you fart, piss, shit, cum, eat, poop. There's really so many different things that you can do. Different things that you should do. Yeah, that's it. I don't feel like you need it. Like a fun little video topic for him.
everybody, I know it's been a while. I've been on a bit of a
Okay, just turning myself down a little bit.
retro binge lately.
Not myself. Turning down the beat. Oh, I got a little gas. Oh no.
Jesus Christ.
Sorry, I had to get that gas out. I had to get a little gas out. Okay, guys. Somebody popped this into my Discord. They said, Papa Gut, watch this. It's a pretty good video. It's from Bouldered McElmire. It's a good guy. It's called Sneeko is a Silly Goose. Add to irrelevancy. You know what is interesting, though? I've been watching more like a Jon Stewart because I'm just more educated than all of you guys. Because I love Jon Stewart a lot. And one of the things, I watched a conversation with somebody from, this English place where their English is weird. Like, oi, mate. And they were talking about they're talking about the way that they engage with different figures. For instance, like Putin. And how Jon Stewart was like, it's really interesting. You guys do a really good job of showing people to be silly, like ridiculous. Like, and that's like a great way to really counter somebody. Is to show how preposterous they are. And one of the ways that Putin tries to make, and I know this is irrelevant, but just hear me out. One of the ways that Putin makes himself look cool is like he'll do things like beat professional hockey players to show how much of a man he is. They'll also do things like he'll have people like Photoshop him on a bear. And it's now, when people see it on social media, they think it's so cool. When you kind of look through it, it's like, wow, this is really cringe and silly. And that's kind of what happened to Sneeko. Everybody thought he was a really cool guy because he yelled and screamed and he could be funny sometimes. But then you hear what he says and he looks ridiculous. And now I think he's just a meme. And I don't think that a lot of people take him super seriously. And there's a few people who do. For the most part, as you get older, you'll realize he's a silly goose. And it's funny because I think that despite the fact that Destiny's his friend, Destiny's the one who really did it. I mean, he just kind of put a beard to the guy. And now it's all funny. And it seems like Destiny's really the only person left that'll kind of be his friend. And yet, that's probably one of the worst relationships that he's really ever had for him taking him look serious. So, I don't know. Anyway, let's go.
Hello, everybody. I know it's been a while. I've been on a bit of a retro binge lately. I've been watching this cute little French boy named... Whoa! And you know what? He's really been waking me up. Things that seriously resonates with me. And I just want to bully this guy. Like...
That resonates with me, too, except only with girls.
Bring bullying back. Bullying is necessary. I couldn't agree more. Sneeko is a thought leader who lives by trying to teach the truth.
Dude, I mean, like, let's be real, though. Picking your nose... I pretend I'm itching it.
So he can't explain what that truth is. My motto for the thing is keep truth is funny. I want to be able to tell the truth. You don't talk about the issues that you don't question the powers that be. You don't talk about the uncomfortable truth that really happen. I've always said this on my stream. If they hide it, then it's the truth. If they have to delete it, then it's the truth. You've made a career of suckling off the success of Andrew Tate. I want to be the top G one day. I want to be there. Tate is currently under investigation for human trafficking. Has admitted to holding women's passports hostage. The Sneeko's just like, it's normal. They should just ask for it back.
Hold on, did Tate actually say he took their passports? Yeah, he did say that. Okay, so that's how they can. He actually takes their passports. They probably lied to him for tax reasons. I think you're blazing right now, bro.
They could ask for it back. They kicked out many women. Destiny, do you not hear about the podcast? You have to like to hear. You don't hear about how many times these women were acting up and you kicked them out because they didn't know how to obey?
Well, what you just said sounds like sex trafficking, my dude. I don't know how you don't understand that.
That's what you down need to do. To be a submissive wife. To leave once a month and try that life.
That's face, man.
I would beat the f*** out of your dumb mouth that I want to. It's something comedy. It's fun. Crack.
Why is that funny? Like, that's my thing. Like, you know, I can get a little raunchy, but how is it funny to just tell, like, oh, I want to forcibly penetrate your mouth? Like, haha, like, that's an LOL funny. Who resonates with that? Like, what's the joke? I don't really get it. But okay. Hey, I guess you your perspective.
Stuff like that. This is going to be a fun video. Nico's very good at building arguments, so let me point to people who are good at building things. Like PC. Not a PC. Your PC clumsy and disgusting like mine. Alright,
Yeah, try it.
Almond milk that does it all.
I'm going to walk in. You know that? Against this whole thing, but they're not breaking us up this time. This was David inspired. This is my rig, and hot damn is this sexy.
Hey, it says WMS, women's menstruation. Damn, I thought I'd be quicker than that. Sorry.
The veteran owns and operates business right here in the United States. The quality reflects that. The computer is clean, organized, and ready to go right on the box. All I had to do was plug in the graphics card and cut a step-by-step YouTube video on it.
Fucking puppet, bro.
Look, if you're going to be spending pieces,
I just feel like I couldn't handle it. I mean, I built my own computer before, but like I was years ago. I feel like I'm just kind of losing that information from my main brain for, you know, better information. Like, nothing. I have nothing. I have nothing in my head anymore. I feel like I feel like I'm engaging in brain rot almost every day. This is the only thing I can do now. So.
PC money. Make sure it's done by professionals who will do it right. Use code Willie with the link in the description to get a special discount on your MetaPC. Thank you, MetaPC, for sponsoring this video. Now, where were we? Oh, yeah. Soy Boy Nico.
Who is this cute little lesbian, and how tight is her pussy?
Nico's content message largely revolves around exploring women. He loves walking these.
I have a real question. I wonder, would iDubbbz have like spoken out and made fun of Sneeko? Like back in the day? You know? Because let's be real, the only people that are really calling out Sneeko, let's be real, the only people who were calling out Sneeko before it was palatable to call out Sneeko were people that were on the, you know, they were a little, like, you know, you might consider them soy boys, okay? Now, I'm one of those soy boys. I'm not saying that Willie Mac didn't call him out, I think he did before, like, you know, it was, but like, you know, it's been ever since, he pretty much, you know, started messing with Destiny, and then, you know, fucked around with ABBA too. That's kind of when it became more socially palatable to do so without, like, his fans, like, you know, crying and shitting on him, or shitting on you, you know, that's what would have happened. So, yeah, I kind of forgot the point that I was making. What the fuck happened to my brain?
And how tight...
Oh, yeah, would iDubbbz have called him out, though? Like, do you think that Sneeko would have been able to get away with, like, all the preposterous shit he was saying years ago? Would iDubbbz just agree with him because they were more, I guess, more edgy, conservative-ish? Or what I think more likely is that iDubbbz might have made, like, a meme about him, and Sneeko would have never maybe rose as prominently as he did. I feel like he would have done a content cop. Isn't it so funny? I feel like it's weird. I don't know. What a weird time. Do you think that there just wasn't as much policing of, like, dumb fucking Manosphere content for some reason? Because there's not enough, like, prominent, more edgier figures that left that'll have, like, the credibility of the edgelords that are willing to speak out. I mean, Destiny did. But you know what I mean? I don't know. It's just something to think about. Because I feel like iDubbbz would have talked shit about him. So.
Is her pussy.
Nico's content message largely revolves around exploring women. He loves watching these street interviews. This is what he bases his entire worldview off of.
Why are the women who say they won't settle okay with settling for living and dying alone with a dozen cats?
It's unfortunate because there's a huge problem with on-the-street content, and of course, Sneeko would engage with it, and that is that you can get anybody to say anything on your on-the-street content. If I wanted to, I could go out tomorrow and I could interview. I can go out tomorrow on the street and I can interview about anything and I get whatever answer I want because I'm going to go out there for hours until I get enough answers that I want, and then I'm going to put a video together. I'm going out in New York City and I'm going to see how many people love to fuck cats. I'm going to get a couple of people who say that they like doing it. Now, most people will say that's obviously wrong and preposterous. But I'll be able to get enough people so that I can say, guys, everyone in New York loves fuck guys. That's the problem. And, you know, if you're too susceptible to that, like, there's either one of two things. Either you're kind of dumb and think that, like, on-the-street content is reliable and accurate information, even though it's very easy to manipulate, or you don't care, and you just want to hear what you want to hear. And I think that makes you an additional type of stupid, because you want to be told why. And I think Zico's that person. I think he wants to be told why. I think that's what it really comes down to. I think that this dude's so traumatized from his relationship with his ex-girl, that, like, he hates women, and he just wants to hate women, and he wants to look for things that make him feel validated in hating women. And of course I'm referring to when, you know, he got cocked by her, you know, and I'm not trying to make fun of the guy. I'm really not. I'm just saying, like, that, I really think that this dude has, like, a really big issue associated with that. So,
maybe a man or that maybe they failed in the dating game. They'll occasionally do street interviews themselves to try and prove that women can't think logically.
Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Joe Byron? Byron. That's the only reason why. We'll see his policies, actually. Probably a little more. I mean, like, listen, guys, we're gonna have to vote by it now until he gets us until he starts paying for student loan. Right? I don't know. It'd be cool, I guess, but realistically, we need, like, a long-term solution to divorce schools. Right?
It's gonna sound so, like, privileged white girl of me, but I'm not that into politics, so I don't have much to say on that.
Neither, but I don't know. What do you say neither? So should women vote?
Yeah, 100%.
He thinks that's an oath. He thinks that since these girls don't personally vote, then no woman should vote.
Yeah. A lot of young people are ignorant.
You're so goddamn.
And old people, too. I'm sorry, guys. I don't want to be biased against young, dumb, white, blonde college girls who listen to vote. How do you give a fuck about voting when I was younger? I was ignorant shit, too.
And you still put up with it. They'll never learn. They won't. They don't have to.
You go and take random moments, some girl getting stopped in the street and ask a basic ass question like, hey, is everyone special? And she'll say yes. Nico will then freak out.
Everybody's special. You're special, you're all.
Oh my God!
By the way, it's so funny, though, because I feel like something that's, like, really negatively impacting men is they don't feel special. And so when you say, like, hey, I think everybody should feel special, you should feel special to yourself, that's a really positive message that even young men can feel good about. Because, like, I think that we have a bit of a mental health crisis. And I wouldn't say it's worse for men, but I think that men don't seek out solutions as much as women. Because they perceive it as, like, weak. And it would be a really good thing to be like, you know, guys, hey, listen, on a macro level, none of us are that important. But on a micro level, you should be very important to yourself. You should feel very special. You know, you should feel good about what you're doing. You know, in your own world. And that can be so positive for our mental health crisis, especially for women as well. But, you know, going from the male perspective, it's just like, oh my God, you really think that you're special? Like, no, nobody's really special. Like, I'm not special. But, like, I have people who care about me. And those people are special to me. So why does it matter if I'm special to everybody in the entire world? Why can't I just be special to the people in my atmosphere? You know what I mean? And that's a really positive mental health conversation to have with yourself. You really make yourself feel better, and really work on your own mental health. But
Every single.
True. Secret doesn't actually care about mental health. I forgot. He's just so fucking virtue signaling. He doesn't give a shit about that.
Time.
Believe in yourself, believe that you can do anything you want to do.
Can't just make up a reality in her head. She can because she's a woman. Men can't just make it up. Hey. Who's the castle? Pussy? That's what happens. Modern female delusion. Every single time it's this. Illusion.
Who is this guy kidding? If anyone would stop randomly and ask these sort of contradicting questions, they would get caught up in his head, Nico himself.
It is. Women have the most rights ever right now. And they still act like they're oppressed. They have more rights today than they've ever had.
That's true. Here's the problem, because I'm only going to half agree. Here's the problem. I think in America, I don't know if it's America, in the Western world, I think everybody's a victim, and they want to be victims. And this manosphere shit is victimhood for men, by the way. Like, what does the manosphere do? It yells and screams and tells young men that all the problems in the world are because of women. explain to me how that's not a victim complex. Everybody wants to be oppressed nowadays. You know, we look at these like really big things like systemic racism and like patriarchy and this and that, and like these things that do exist, but everybody applies them in a way that like victimizes themselves. If there's like we should all be educated on different problems in the world, but everybody's like over-identifying it. Every person of any like marginalized group, they're like, I must identify with everything from like everything of like the worst oppression ever from every group ever. You know, it's not like, oh, that's an interesting idea. It's like nowadays when it comes to TikTok, like all women are like, oh my, like some I'm talking about TikTok feminists are like, oh, the patriarchy exists, that means that I must be oppressed. And then all men are like, oh, women, like there are some really pieces of shit women gold diggers. I must be oppressed because of that. It's like maybe that's not true. Maybe it's a good thing to acknowledge issues that you have in your life, but you shouldn't victimize yourselves on it. Because then you start looking through everything as a lens. Like fat people. You know, there's some fat people, like I'm fat, right? Some fat people focus too much on how fat they are, and then they think that every negative interaction they have in the world is because they're fat. And so maybe it's just that that's a thing that you can identify with, but it doesn't mean you're oppressed. You know what I mean? You know, it's about acknowledging like a particular struggle, but not victimizing yourself on
it. But racism is not natural. Patriarchy is natural. That's biology. Racism is based in just hatred.
Yeah, Nico, the film school.
I would argue that tribalism is like natural. But that doesn't mean that natural is good, right? Like I would say that tribalism, like segregating each other, is probably like a natural thing that's not in the wild. But I don't think it's a good thing, right? So his argument's just silly.
Dropout is going to tell us how biology is related to human rights.
Yo, is this person retarded?
Yes.
Whoa!
He's someone who will often project while reacting to videos. He's usually just describing himself.
Damn, she's dumb. This is one. She got triggered by a question, and I know women. All she's gonna do is look to disagree now. As soon as you trigger them, they stop making sense. They just need to fight you. This is the.
I mean, I think that women are only making sense. $1.80 cents on the dollar. You deserve it though, biologically, if you think about it, because patriarchy is biological.
One of these points that make zero sense just because he's too proud to admit he's wrong in a debate. I've seen this guy argue that seatbelts make vehicles more unsafe.
Seatbelts do too. Do you wear a seatbelt when you drive, or do you not give a shit?
This thing where, so like then you find Amazon, just like advice for the chat, you can get like a seatbelt thing on Amazon that it clicks in and then it gets rid of the beeping sound.
Also, just click it in behind you and not have to buy an entire contraption on Amazon. But hey, like you're the one with the Smarties.
Okay, so you don't wear seatbelts either. Do you think seatbelts make you safer when you drive?
There's some circumstances where a seatbelt actually restricts you and traps you inside the car. You can see accidents.
There are some circumstances where somebody could
collision.
Yeah.
You get an accident.
Yeah. There are circumstances where.
Hold on. Let me finish.
Yeah, go ahead.
You go into a collision, and if you have a seatbelt on, then you get trapped in the car, and the car can catch on fire. But sometimes, if you're not wearing a seatbelt, there's instances where people have like literally have flown out the windshield because they weren't wearing a seatbelt and they survived. But a seatbelt can trap you in there.
What do you think is more common? Do you understand statistics or probability?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what's more common.
He knows he's wrong. He just won't man up and admit it. He's so stupid. He thinks Hitler isn't a Nazi. Hitler!
You think that, like, Hitler Kanye was joking when he said that he liked Hitler, though?
No, he's being truthful. But he was saying something provocative on purpose. The overall idea, see, people say, like, oh, look, he's a Nazi. No, he's not. He's black. Yeah, he's not a Nazi. That's the point.
Okay. Yeah, because he can be a Nazi because he's black.
Okay, but he's not a Nazi.
Oh, but not because he's black. Just for other reasons.
Well, you also can't be a true Nazi. You have to be blonde hair, blue-eyed. Even Hitler wasn't a true Nazi.
Or like a neo.
Yeah.
I feel like if that's how you're defining Nazi, that's a completely useless statement because we can't even call the leader of the Nazi movement Nazi.
By his own definition, he wasn't part of the master race, so.
And nobody's a Nazi, so it doesn't seem like that's a good definition of Nazi.
Wow.
Owned by a woman? Cringe.
Face. Yeah, no, that's fucking crazy. Like, obviously, I mean, Seagull probably doesn't mean that, but he's just so fucking dumb. Like, he's just redefining things in person, you know? But I'd say, like, Kanye is probably, I mean, like, it's hard to say he's not a Nazi at this point, right? I mean, this guy said that Hitler was a cool guy, that, like, Nazi soldiers weren't bad people and shit. You know, I don't know, it's just, it's sad stuff. He said he loves Hitler, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of hard to argue against that. He also, you know, pushes the Jewish question, constantly, you know, and, which is how much salmon should I have on my bagel? That is the ultimate Jewish question.
Nico is so stupid, he doesn't even know the difference between an Aryan and a Nazi. Nico is so stubborn, he won't even admit the leader of the Nazi party was a Nazi.
No, definitely not.
Imagine if I said that shit, if I could. No, better.
Well, you do say that, though. We've talked about that. You literally think that. Well, that's why you're all stupid. He said that to me. He thinks men are better than women. Like, to me, when we had a conversation. No, you are that dumb. Like, you think that men are better than women, or women are better than men. Unironically, you're an idiot. Like, that's all it boils down to. It's fun to joke and meme, but, like, to be stupid. Imagine I said that. Imagine I farted. I tell you.
It's pretty nice. It's not very like, as a 10 ounces better. He does do that all the time. In the same video, he does. If I said that, I would have to smarter, faster, more capable of leading. You gotta feel bad for
all that. Saying all that, he's still in his girlfriend. Watch her and fuck the other guys. So, like, how are you that this wasn't? How are you this masculine? It's just like touching while you're both touching it. Like, that's just bizarre, brother.
Just violence, all in front of the face. Just like, feel better. You don't have to have the body fat. You don't get pregnant for 9 months and get all emotional once a month. I can come in with reasons. If you never say about it, really dead. I won't try to think it's not a good thing. None of them are brainwashing girls thinking that they need to be all woke and shit like that. If you really want to do it,
it's interesting because you said that toddlers. I think that's really good. And I'm not saying that all women are different. There's plenty of annoying women, but I say that there's just as many good women out there as there are good men. So let's just be real here. Joe is not one of them.
Men are more capable of independent thought. I know that my son about this. Men are the philosophers, men are the thought leaders.
I don't know. Considering your entire identity is from something else. Like, not for nothing. I know people, like, I say this, I know people get upset, but I'm gonna think probably forever. People used to think Tito was a super intelligent guy, and maybe he was. I didn't watch the show when he was, at his height of intellectual thought. People thought that he was. But my thing is that when he was young, he was saying things that people wouldn't consider intelligent. But I think that he was mostly parroting other concepts that he liked. And he was so young, people came up with these things super intelligent shit. But he was mostly just saying like other concepts and stuff. You know? And I say that because if you look at him now, all he does is say what he thinks all the time. And I think that he's always just been kind of a shell, just another person in action, but not really knowing why he's saying what he's saying. So, you know, even if men are the philosophers, true, I don't think that you're one of them. You're just a loud follower, you know. That's it.
We're not. You're hormonal. You're supposed to have children, and you don't want to. What is that? You sound like some Al-Qaeda politician. Look at those guys. Those were 40 menstrual bleeds. That's what you down. Be a submissive wife. Bleed once a month and cries at this. You are normal. You don't know why.
And listen, there's nothing wrong.
Because women are weaker.
Hey guys, nothing proves that men are better than women by constantly saying, well, disagree. Hey, you think you're better than me? I'm going to violently assault you. That'll prove to you that I'm better than you. I'm going to violently attack you. That proves it. That proves everything. Oh my goodness. By the way, who made technology? The strong guys? Nah, like nerds. Oh, well, they're not as good as the strong guys, though, because they don't fight. If they don't fight, they can't be good. And, like, literally, like, every fucking, like, affluent person who's extremely knowledge that matters is a fucking little nerd. Well, smart nerd. And you're gonna talk about how physical strength is better than everything else. I mean, come on. You think that's a little silly. That's a little silly. Alright, I'm not saying don't be strong. You know, I mean, like, it's really good to work on your body. I'm just saying, like, it's just kind of a silly thing to say. But,
I'm just saying. Yes, Nico, you can beat up a woman. Really manly of you, dude. I present you the Ray Rice Award. What's wild is this lady never said that woman to beat up men. All she said was that men can get emotional too, which is true.
Oh yeah, men just tend to manifest their emotions through like anger. And that's one of the biggest problems that I have with feminism, by the way. Is that I think that feminism says that it's okay for men to be emotional sometimes, but I think it's true. But they don't acknowledge that men can be emotional and angry, which I think is okay. It's not okay to get like violently angry or disproportionate, but it's okay as a man to be angry and to process it how you process it. And I think that's one of the things that bothers me a little bit about like the feminist perspective is that it doesn't say like, okay, you're angry, that's okay. It sometimes can tell you like, oh, why? But that's not usually how men have emotions. Why can't I be all without scared? It's like, okay, you can be violent, but if I'm angry, I want to be left alone. Why can't process my emotions that way? And that's something that I think they can talk about more. I think that's something that we can talk about.
So let's try on streets. Randy once again told him a ton. He fell into a pocket. It was so sad. He had to open a window. He was going back years on to the fancy good, like the motivation comes from like, wow, that's what comes out of the deal with the guy that was beating the fuck out of him. The woman, yes, the title was. I feel like Nico hates women because they're supposed to identify with them. I'm gonna read this tweet from Jeremy and I want to see if it correlates to Nico at all. So much this way there.
Wait there. Show off your big deal. Burlington for Easter? Yeah. You gotta get in store for the single name brand and incredibly low prices. Burlington's here to surprise you. Find your family's outfit for Easter and all the street styles you love. At up to 60% off other retailers' prices every day. Wow. At Burlington, get dressed for the warmer weather. Because we have so much more than coats. You'll love the deals. You'll love Burlington. Wow.
It's kind of true. I don't like the B word, but it is. I'm Matt Walsh, frankly. I'm not trying to be rude, but it's the most feminine men, and there's nothing wrong with feminine. It's the most feminine men. I hate like gay people and women the most. It's so bizarre. I'm not against trans people. Well, I am against
I mean, what other straight guy has so many half-naked photos of himself? He was jerking off from the male photographer laying next to him. Hey, listen. Did I mention he was touching his finger in front of a male photographer? This was nonsense. I had to censor you.
Listen, all I'm going to say is sometimes, as a man, I've taken pictures of myself, and I've gone, that looks pretty good. I've made myself. I'm proud of myself before. There's nothing wrong. That's self-confidence. That's confidence. That's all I'm saying.
Ask us for sure. He has stories of these old guys beating out his girl while his feet are still in her. Other men have licked his knees. The law must have been back and he laid down the floor. Think about like the logistics of that. That's exactly about the logistics. Like his head is like under, it's like basically like his eyebrows are like thicker in the bottom. And I have to like move something like that so I don't make contact. His eyebrows are like thicker. You only gotta look at this guy for a minute. He's like flying out for help. It's like he admits to talk to our friend. He's not having blinded. I feel like halfway through the ride, I'm like, oh, see what's wrong. I'm thinking of calling something and having to look up. Two notifications for Blinder, Jack. He has 2 notifications for Blinder. I'm not gonna bring it up. That's the option that I'm thinking. Just ignore it and keep pretending that he's straight. I want to keep living in a lie. Why is that not an option? Keep living in a lie. This is sad. You know
what's another thing that's like really weird about this show? If you notice, he does this thing like when we talk about how he stuff out with the backer, all this, blah, blah, blah. Not for nothing, but I'm a grown man. And I have like have like Funko Pops and like collectibles for that. You know, I have the Leviathan act that my wife bought me for Christmas once. I have the Chaos Blades that my wife bought me for Christmas. You know, I'm living the dream, frankly. And I put them up there because I think that they're cool. But according to Sneeko, I need to care about what other men think about me. That's gay. That's what we call gay. Okay? Oh, fuck. This little twink boy thinks that it's cringe that I have Funko Pops. I gotta get rid of them. That's gay. Like, why do I care about what another fucking man thinks about me? Like, I don't care. I think it's cool. I like it. That's it. That's all it comes down to. I mean, like, why? Who cares what other people think? Who cares what other people think? Like, that's the thing. That's just like that used to be the justification or a part of me and not care what people think. Now apparently it's the only thing you're supposed to do is care what other people think. That's fucking bizarre.
Jeremy accepts who is little Leg. Now it's time to get her. Nico is the brightest. He goes on back live in top set. Everything that Charlotte is for about. The angry statement is that one of them. He's got multiple times that wants to be the next angry day. Sometimes I want to see the top one. When it takes that band on YouTube, it's possible. Maybe he can bring the praise himself.
Imagine getting inspired by that. That's like being inspired by a fucking crazy guy coming down and fucking does the same stuff. Like literally, like you're falling for like a fucking wrestling club on there. I can't force on to you. Oh shit. That's it. That's weird. That's funny though. I mean, wrestling is that. That's certainly more which is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Wrestling is very entertaining. I'm just saying, if you look at it for whatever reason, all the people I know with Down syndrome love wrestling, and there's nothing wrong with it. It's just interesting. It's just interesting, you know. And I do know a good amount of people. Because you know, my wife works with. It's okay. There's nothing wrong with it because wrestling is kind of cool. It's just there's too much talking now. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was cool as hell. You remember when like Stone Cold Steve Austin would fucking come in and like the whole crowd gets like tingles in my body. It's like that's gone now. They didn't see him punk there. That's all I'm saying. Literally, he had birds.
It's not going to be.
We'll always prepare. Wow, inspired. This is skyrocketing Nico's career in a lot of ways. It's because it's really being tied to his success. That's when Nico has decided to entertain on every single investigate for sex life. It's not going to page, so I can't blame people to take the side. However, I think it comes down to entertaining only one category for the game. We should all be a little critical of that. And there are
hear about the podcast you have selected here, and you don't hear about how many times these women were acting up and you kicked them out because they didn't know how to obey.
It's such a sin for Andrew Tate. He cheers Candace Owens on when she says he's probably not a racist.
Ran in an article last night was a transcript of a woman basically saying that she didn't want to get a tattoo, like all the girls that have.
I mean, this guy literally says he gets once that booster for shit came out, that's all it takes. I don't know what other information to like really prove to you. That's all it can really take. You know, just saying shit like that, talking about how he takes money from these women, takes that and fall in love with them, brings them to other countries, casted them, he never did sex before this, the casting was too small, and then those two women were seen out that they're kind of the only people who were able to do this, like that the kids were committed, they were so in love with them, that they all back. I mean, like, how is this not, you know, the middle ground on Andrew Tate is, oh, it's like, probably guilty based on what you said, but I'm going to wait for the trial. That's the most middle ground argument you have. You can't say that he's innocent. You just can't based on like, the literal facts that are out. So.
My body, and she says, no, I want to like keep my body pure. He's like, well, I'm paraphrasing here. If you're going to be your body belongs to me, and you need to understand. I do not find that to be evidence that he is a rapist.
It's enough. That by itself is enough evidence of scumbag, like the 17 that I've just said. I don't. it sounds like maybe he is. Yeah, he's definitely a sex trafficker. By his own account, though, you know. But that's not it's how we're in paradox. You realize it's not a shit. How about sex trafficking those women. But if you do take Andrew Tate seriously and think he's credible, then you have to believe that sex trafficking. It's a wild.
Landis Owens in the chat. Really? This is what he's laughing for? The bar is set that low, huh? Maybe for investors employees say that we're playing women because he named that dude on them. We're just ignoring that. But it's not evidence that he raped them. Classic Tate W. Andrew Wade in the chat. Landis Owens was going to go over fuck the Tate out of the party years ago.
But a lot of the time that we were there talking to Kate, right, we were having a conversation, spoke to her. And at the end of the dinner, as I am not paying attention because I have butterflies in my stomach and I'm falling over her husband, she comes over to me afterwards because this guy, Andrew Tate, I think he got the pimp in Romania. I think that. And she's like, no, I think he's like actually a pimp in Romania. And I'm sitting there going, I don't know, talking about
Listen, I don't know where Chico comes from. I know somewhere in New York. So I grew up in New York too, and like I grew up in it wasn't a horrible area, but there was a good amount of prostitutes, and every prostitute who's ever propositioned me looks like they're on drugs, because the reality is that these mostly women are force-fed drugs by their pimps to continuously work, and they're fucking like abused by these fucking men. Pimps were never good people. They were never respected. This is the fucking dumb fucking mindset of the dumb people in the world. Like, I don't understand how you can on the one hand talk about how porn is bad, and then on the other hand justify porn. And like, look up to a guy like, it doesn't make sense. Porn, but it's okay for my fucking hero to take advantage of women. What are you talking about? Like, stop pretending that, like, fucking having a pimp is cool. It's I don't understand. Like, it's just fucking bizarre. Like, what a delusional thought. Like, what a fucking privileged delusional thought to have. It's fucking crazy.
They were examples of governing, who controlled a lot, they were powerful. Like, how is this the
dumb little kids still that?
Do some critical thinking for 1 second. I wonder why Andrew Tate has been lying, going out all this content, saying he isn't doing this webcam shit anymore. It's not the webcam. I've been in that business like 6 years.
I'm not in the business. I just have my brother run it. That's what they'll actually say. No, pretend he's not in it, but his brother runs it. He's still running it. It's very obvious.
When he still is. It wasn't until he was arrested that he realized he was still doing this shit. Lying the whole time. Nico, just like everybody else, was lied to. He had no idea. Tristan, they don't do webcam business anymore. The Tates got rich by pimping. They have an audience. Why do they do? And they're also better things. Well, they're still pimping. It's Nico hasn't said a word about it. I understand that Andrew Tate hasn't been found guilty. That's
respectful of a doctor or a lawyer. Except if you really think about doctors and lawyers, what are they doing for they're just they're just doing things like suspending Andrew Tate. Think about it.
At every opportunity, defend them over every small person. Andrew Tate can face fun over his terrible music. It's dumb. It was annoying.
Damn, like Anthony Fantino, come on, bro. That was so basic. Like Pitbull. Without the dog, you know?
Yeah, the song's such that. It's awful. But what's up with the defensive war? You know what? I don't think you should be able to fucking make music with you if you can't make any song at all. You've never made a song. What the fuck do you know about music? And then the difference is the next day, you go prove fucking advice on critical thinking.
Hey guys, I'm just trying to bring truth to comedy. By the way, when I see a comedy, I cry. Like, what the fuck?
Gargling Andrew promoting shit.
You justify anything of the fucking webcam with fucking sex trafficking with it. This guy's fucking crazy. Holy shit, how is there more fucking things about this show?
Don't make fun of Mr. Vincent. It's about you making music. Take us aside. Meanwhile, he's flying like a princess soccer mom over his joke song. I don't get it. I'm gonna actually joke guy. The fact that you take this shit so literally is embarrassing.
Guys, yes, that's the joke. You just not find it funny. like not like you don't have to. It doesn't matter.
Did you get a call from someone on X's Island who posted it?
Probably, yeah.
This guy wanted to be at the meeting and yet no police is part of it. Take a lane, dude. You think it's bad because Tony just smuggled the Nico. Because Nico being the brave man that is. Wants to fight 5'6" Tony.
You know, it's interesting if you think about it. I was watching The Joker yesterday with my wife. She actually liked it. It was a really good movie. Watching it again, it's really good. But one of the interesting things is that, like, towards the end of the movie, a little spoiler alert. Once the end of the movie, he's on with like Murray, which is the Italian guy. Which why am what? The Italian guy. Oh my God, what's his name? What's the Italian guy's name? I want to say Leonardo DiCaprio, but it's books. I don't. It's one of those guys. Somebody tell me the name of the fucking guy, bro. Literally, he's famous. He's a famous Italian man. Come on. Somebody in the fucking chat help me out here. Robert De Niro. Thank you. Okay? Fuck. Sorry. Anyway, Robert De Niro's character is an actual, like, late show comedian. Okay? And he makes fun of the Joker, you know, Joaquin Phoenix's character. Now, in the comedy world, if you look at it from a comedy perspective, the Joker takes it way too seriously and gets too upset about it. That's how comedy is. You should be able to take shots at each other and have a little bit of fun. And even the way that Joker treats him, like, behind the scenes, like, hey, do whatever character you look at it. He's like, you want to come out dressed as the Joker and do a character? That's fine. You want me to call you the Joker? That's fine. He's giving him a lot of comedic liberties to try to make his career as a comedian. He's actually throwing him a huge bone. He's having him on, he's giving him, like, the spotlight. He's going to once and letting him come out in the Joker attire. He's an attire associated with the political movement that, like, that is justifiable in the universe because they're oppressed with war, but it's associated with, like, killing people, rich people. And he's like, with your liberty, this is your shot. This is your shot. He's making fun of him, but he's giving him this speech. And what is he doing? He shoots him. Because he's so sensitive about the jokes as a comedian that he shoots his gun. And that is, you know, pretends he thinks he's a comedian. And he's really not. He's really not. He just likes to says base, edgy stuff that he thinks is funny. When he receives any criticism, he can't laugh at all. He's literally the Joker from the movie Joker. Right? And what's interesting is if you watch that movie, there's a scene there where one of the character Joker watches his girlfriend get hung by two guys at the same time. So they actually are, he is the Joker. He's the jokester from the movie Jokester.
Taller than me?
No doubt. And no muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's just, Andrew Tate freaks me better than you. You really body watching right now? You're body shaming, but you can't play. How do you go body shaming when you scared of a phone?
I never smile.
Said I built like SpongeBob. Hey, yeah, we had anchor on stage. Look at that. How many nuts, by the way?
You know, it's sure said multiple times that grew up in like a foreign area where he felt like, okay, this is his perspective on this other conversation about like stopping and like the relationship black and white or black and white people. And he always talks about how he goes getting down because he's like a nerd. He thinks that black people will pick on Asian people because they think that they're nerds. And like stereotypically nerds. And he says that's the stereotype that Asian people operate with. I feel like that's his whole persona. He's getting made fun of growing bullied when he was younger. I guess by a couple of black kids. I got bullied by some black people too, but then I would bully him back. It's called just being a silly goose. You know what I mean? Having a little bit of silly fun. You know? That's how it is, brother. You just have a little fun. You know? But I feel like that's his whole personality. He was bullied when he was younger, and now that's his entire personality as a person. Says stuff. I think think the funniest part is that like he criticized. It's so weird because he criticized Curtis Connor for his comedy. And by the way, I didn't really find either of their comedies funny. But it's not for me. I don't really care, and I'm aware of that. But Steve was like, "Oh, you have a sex." It's like, but you did your own comedy, and it also sucks. Like, why are like if anything? I feel like as a comedian, there should be like respect about like it's hard to get up on stage. You should be like, "Oh, it's not for me," but like I can respect it. I can respect it on the stage. It's turned right now. You can do it right. Hey, thanks for the small talk, brother. I mean, there's nothing wrong with using comedy to talk about stuff like that. But it has to be like, oh, these are just more gender. Okay, like maybe like I don't think people get canceled, right? Because they're ignorant. But like it's not good to be racist. Hot take, guys. I know that's a brave take from. I know that's a really brave take, guys. But that's like his whole point. Is like you really don't think a Southern woman's gonna be racist? Like no, I would expect him to. I don't think it's good. But I don't think that you should lose your livelihood. It's just gonna make you more racist anyway. Oh, I lost my fucking job because I did something I felt and I didn't realize. That's not smart. You're just racist people probably should tolerate it. Like, how is it funny to just be like, oh, racism, okay? Like, nothing particularly intelligent. He was funny, but he would also tell. He would do like really good social commentary.
Jesus, okay.
Really like the best comedians. Regularly, I feel like really the best politics political figures are the best. I mean, I love Jon Stewart. I think he's a funny guy. Some of his comedy's a little corny too, but I love it. He's like an intelligent guy. He's quick. He's very politically educated. He cares a lot. Like this is the people that like they're great. You know. And even now, as like I'm getting older, like I feel like I'm still learning from somebody like Jon Stewart. You know. I just fucking. I don't know, man. Fuck.
Way lamer than you, I'll never be. I just want to reiterate how much of a bitch this guy is. He's somebody that will act all tongue, but as soon as somebody steps up to the plate, he shifts the goalpost. For instance, he gets a video made out of by Mr. Beard, who didn't want to debate Sneeko live. So Sneeko, even though he couldn't refute any point, twisted it into being a victory. This guy's look at the bottom left.
Mr. Beard was Ryan, I believe, calls themselves now, but talked to Sneeko. Why with me? Why would he do it again? And not for nothing, when that conversation happened between myself and Sneeko, he had people put clips of it all over the internet, on TikTok especially, and he got trashed. Because not only was he stupid in the conversation, but people still remember me from TikTok. And they're like, oh yeah, you know who this guy is. Like, because people know that like I'm an edgy little fucker. So he needed to look good. He looked like he really looked dumb. So it didn't really work to his favor. So why would we have a conversation? There's really no condition. Why bother engaging? So, you know what I mean? Why bother engaging with somebody that they can't have a honest conversation?
Berkey Tom then makes a video on Sneeko, and Sneeko challenged him to a debate. Only this time, Tom accepts the debate. Sneeko then ghosted Tom with his excuse being that he wants to go on a bigger streamer show. Sneeko then gets into a fight with Charlie, and Charlie has a bigger audience than him too. So Sneeko has to shift the goalpost yet again, where Charlie has to Buckingham, last announcement, you guys overheated the crime. It's not even a good road, and he had his field in some juice. You know, it actually is just...
Are you serious?
Even when he's winning, he'd be weaker. But what if somebody's stupid? Like, really stupid? They'd be, actually,
Okay, you're back.
You should be ashamed of yourself. Think about all the women who actually got SA.
Even in this clip, he doesn't even look serious. I don't think he doesn't care. He doesn't care about sexual assault. Like, he doesn't give a shit about it. Like, even this, he has like a little smug smile on his face. He doesn't care about anything that he says. You know, because he's trying to make a point of, like, you've been invalidating women that are actually sexually assaulted. But, like, he doesn't care. Like, you can tell by his face. It's just like this fake. He can't even fake like the fucking borderline laugh that he's running on right now.
I know the next time that's gonna happen, the next time the cops show up, maybe they're gonna give him a hard time.
It wouldn't be consensual. Like, she doesn't want that. And he lied and said, like, my girl, like, she was giving me the eyes at dinner and stuff like that. I'm gonna pull up and, like, gangbang with it, run a train on her, and he was threatening me with that. Like, maybe it wasn't our word, but he was threatening me with that. And it's like, my girl would not be down to do that.
This was the
I think he's upset because his girl would absolutely be down to do that.
same girl that was touching him, dating another dude right in front of him. She would take him to sex parties, and he would sit there crisscross applesauce and somebody pounds his girl on the same bed.
So we go in there with the mentality that whatever happens inside that party just stays at the party. Like, yeah. And so I saw her. I've seen her fuck other men. I wanted to break this down, like, because this was imagine seeing the girl you love, like.
It's weird that he said other men because Nico's not a man, so he's seen his girl get fucked by men, real men. You know what I mean? That's all it really is. Because Nico's not a real man. He's a fucking child.
Get fucked. Get fucked. Love her? Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah. Love
Damn, loving.
I was about to say I love my queen.
And you allow the love of your life to get fucked by another man. So can she enjoy it? Like, what if she's enjoying it too much?
That's the thing. Like it's like she's moaning pretty loud. Like, I don't know, like, how much you. I didn't expect you to
She was moaning loud?
Huh?
She was moaning loud?
So, alright, so we went on two different. Okay, hold on. We went on two different occasions. The first time, crazy. The first time, as soon as I saw it, like 3 pumps in, I just got up and walked.
But then he went back and watched it happen again.
It should be fair that she can take other dick if I'm fucking other pussy. Like,
Equality.
That's balance. So if it's gonna happen, I might as well see it, supervise it, make sure everything's okay.
Wait, what? No, you didn't have to jump to that.
Well, it's worse if I get shit happens behind my back. Like, I don't want it to.
It's not. Y'all both knowing that it's happening.
So it's never behind your back anymore. You gotta know.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with like getting in like a consensual open relationship or whatever, or both parties are sleeping with people. There's nothing wrong with that at all. But it's weird that he's like in the room getting like emotionally devastated while his girlfriend gets fucked better than like he fucks her. You know, that's the sad part. Then it comes into question like why does she want to be in an open relationship? I'm not trying to be that guy, but I feel like I personally, and maybe this is a little sexist, but whatever. I think that like in a relationship, I'm sure that there are people but I don't know. Like men tend to be like physical when it comes to sex. I'm not saying you can't have like physical sex. My point is that I feel like with it usually be one person that's looking outside the I find it weird. I don't think it's right either way. And so like I don't know, you know, maybe she goes to the less than for being like, I think he's part black and Hispanic. He's open to listening to what is being said. How does that make any fucking sense? Like, it doesn't. Like, Sneako's just anti-mainstream. Like, he's just a sheep in the opposite direction, right? So, yeah.
There you go. Yeah. What about you? Did you believe in mixed love?
Well, man, love is love, bro. I love my Latino, love my Asian girls.
Nick, I gotta ask, Nick, how do you feel when you see a black guy just getting with the snow bunny? Like, is that something that's something you see, Nick? Well, the problem is, all these white girls always end up getting their ass kicked. And then left behind. That's specifically out of what?
That's not true.
So you trying to say we out here beating these white women? Is that what you're trying to say? Well, I mean, that is something that happens. Maybe not you guys.
Here's the thing. Nick says stuff that is funny, but it's not jokes. He really does mean it.
I covered a story about this on my show a couple weeks ago, but that's not the only thing. Here's the thing. I'm halfway kidding about that. The thing is, and I was explaining this to Sneeko, is what? Halfway. Here you go. So I said, yeah, like, I'm against race mixing. Like I said to you guys right now, I said, yeah, I don't approve of that.
Nick Fuentes has been hanging out with Kanye a lot, and Sneeko agrees with Ye about everything. So it's not rare for them to be fueling Jewish conspiracies.
And organized crime around the world. That's how they're able to funnel.
No, my understanding is like that Sneeko is like part Hispanic, part like Asian, and part black, right? I'm pretty sure that's true. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but I'm like almost certain that that's his identity. I know that you're saying that he's Filipino, but I'm pretty sure that he's like mixed. So.
Money from the U.S. government to like organized crime, to the cartels, to all kinds of shady things, terrorism that goes on in the world. That's a huge part of the problem globally is shadow banking.
And who's behind it?
The Jews.
Well, we talked about it, Sneeko. A lot of Jews. I don't know how you guys feel about that.
He thinks black people on average are biologically dumber than everyone else.
I told Sneeko, we call this race realism, okay, which is to say that race is real. Like, it's not fake, it's not CG, race is real. There are different races, and there's meaningful
Navigation
and one of the things is that on average, the races have different IQs. And so on average, Asians have the highest IQ, and on average, blacks have the lowest. And that's why I told Sneeko, and no, that's
Oh, he's not Hispanic. Okay, he's black and Filipino. Okay. I got one of those wrong. Okay, sorry. Sorry about that. Oh, maybe that's why Sneeko likes it. It's part of himself being a nerd, right? Is that what it is? I don't know. But
I'm saying on average, I don't think there are black geniuses like Kanye West. I think he's a black genius, but there's fewer black geniuses. There are Asian geniuses.
It's not about the color of your skin or your race. It's about your morality. It's about your decision making. What's right? What's wrong? How do you treat other people? Isn't that what it all comes down to?
Well, I mean, you could say that, but the thing is that, human beings have a tendency to fight with each other. And you can say that, we can say that sitting down here, but what happens what would happen if you and I were living in the same house? That's the kind of concept. When you and I are on a Discord call, we're sort of strangers, we're talking about ideas, that's great. What if we're living in the same house and there's a fight over, who gets to shower when, and who gets this seat on the couch, and these are the kinds of things that happen in a dense...
Wait, did they get a fight with that because you laughed over that?
Fight about stuff like that. And
you're making like a comparison to like in your house and like in the same country. That's the comparison that makes me. I remember I watched the conversation before, so I know that's what he's talking about.
Well, yeah. Would you fight more with a black person over who gets to use the shower?
Yes. And here's why.
True, I would too, because they used to watch the shower for so fucking long. But honestly, I know that black people would fight with white people for taking a shower too, because white people use face cloths to wipe their ass. Oh no, they don't use the face cloth. They just use the whole regular bar of soap. So it's kind of gross if you think about it. Now I don't care. I just that's why they use face cloths more. So if I was a black guy, I might not want to be a black guy either. The face cloth, you know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. This is a shower. I feel like soap washes itself, right? So who cares if you stuck it directly into your asshole? Because it's so you can't have dirty soap, right? The logic makes sense here.
Obviously gonna fight a white person, and a black person gonna fight with a white person, and a white person gonna fight with a black person on the shower. That's when we don't have like Discord, and that's when people act in their natural state. People are very likely to.
President literally leaves now.
Yeah, Destiny needed to jump in this conversation because I remember up until this point, like everybody was kind of eating up like it's not being racist, and then Destiny jumped in and was like fucking think about that. Like he knows a little bit too much big fun. So that's where we learned that Nick thinks that Simeon is a black person is degenerately speaking the dog, right? And it's so funny. There's people who are like, when I say that, in my videos are like, no, that's not true. You know, you're being dishonest. He didn't say that sleeping with a black person is the same as sleeping with a dog. They're both degenerate. Just the dog is more degenerate. Like, that's your defense instead. Because he still thinks that black people are less than white as the man as dogs. Like, I don't understand. Like, how does that? How do you want to? Like, how is it you're justified? Because we're focusing so hard on something crazy.
Like, you're literally locked in there with more rules than any of the partisans
fighting for your survival.
You do think black and white can be together, these degenerate. You do think that Jews can run the world. You do think that they're like race realism is like a foundational belief of your structure.
And he actually believes that Sneako's existence is a product of this degeneration. You're gonna have to end the call. This is what Sneako has to say about it. What makes it sure it even exists?
What if Nick and I have a very similar worldview? Nick believes a lot of what's going on behind the scenes. Like, Nick really, I listened to this whole call. I don't think he said anything that makes you want to cancel him. I think he's a good guy. He's like, hey, I love everybody. Is he really being that?
Yo, that's crazy. Oh,
I'm
not even
gonna lie. If he had first off, whatever kind of prescriptive ideas that you got, you are literally individuals that could do
I believe that's what we call a sellout. It's when you sacrifice your morals and principles for money. Is that not what we would call a sellout, guys?
To a millionaire in 2022. Biggest year of my life, craziest year of my life, cancellation, all that. Started with 1 million subscribers, ended with no YouTube channel but $1 million.
He's actually lost a lot. His views have dropped dramatically, often not even hitting 10K. He talks about the red pill so much. His family doesn't invite him over for Christmas anymore.
Like, this is the first Christmas I didn't go home because of my association with Ye.
Yeah, this is actually like unironically the saddest thing is that his family is so disappointed with him that they don't even really want to see him or be around him. Because he's associated with a bad person. Well, Kanye is a fucking mess. But he's associated with like really like dysfunctional political beliefs that like promote hatred, and they are just so disappointed in their own son because they don't want to like hang out with him. It's really sad that you really know what I mean, but like that's toxic. Like that's not just being like, oh, I'm a conservative, I'm a progressive with different views. I mean, Kanye literally thinks that like Jews are fucking running the world, and that fucking Hitler was okay, and like and he justifies everything that's being said because Nico isn't a free thinker. He wants to like Kanye so he needs to justify why it's okay to like the guy, and everything's just like cancel culture, and nothing is like justifiably bad or anything, Like it's fucking coke brain, It says stuff. Get my shit pushed.
Because Ye was talking about they called him anti-Semitic, they lied about it. So my association with the people that you want to have on a panel, like Nick points says,
by the way, the saddest thing was like I watched the whole next conversation with Kanye West, and like I thought that he got somewhere. He was like really opening up, or Lex was like really talking to Kanye like a person. He's trying to like flush out like why he had this hatred in his heart. They got somewhere, and then afterwards, Kanye was like, "Nah, fuck that guy." It was so sad because I like Lex Friedman a lot. Like he's a good guy. He's really smart. I really appreciate it. It's like now he's like prioritizing love and getting my ass pounded in this fucking game. But so that was like really sad because he gave him the benefit of the doubt. I need to shoot him, and he was really trying to get the benefit of the doubt.
I think we all have at least one family member that doesn't know how to cook.
Pearl's the only one that's really on your side. I mean, you're just gonna have the shit come at that point. I mean, holy fuck. Another person at Destiny just embarrassed me and looked really dumb by just like presenting common sense to them. So.
Run up and act normal while home for Thanksgiving or Christmas? Well, Sneako is that guy.
And I still love him, of course. And I still love him. The reason is like they just wouldn't be able to handle a conversation on the internet. You know, woke people don't know how to have discourse. They don't know how to disagree healthily. They get so emotionally involved. They want to live in their hallucinator. They want to be like the fact that I'm
bro, I'm really tired of like the fucking conversation. Because like, yeah, people are annoying, but like typical fucking like manosphere conservative bullshit to just pretend that like all fucking progressives are woke and let's have like this war on wokeism because people are like, oh, we should not treat fat people like they should be fucking killed. Like that's really what it kind of boils down to. Like I understand that there are really annoying woke people, but most people are just like considerate. And it's just like, oh wow, it's more on wokeism. And meanwhile, like, what are fucking conservatives like platforming on? I'm not trying to be a fucking asshole, but I mean, Jesus Christ, also about like, oh, woke this, woke that, blah, blah, blah. Like the entire conservative platform is fucking like anti-trans people. That's it. Like, what's the platform? What is the platform? That's all it is. It's fucking weird. It's like annoying as fuck too. Oh, I put this on too soon. Fuck.
There it is. You know what? There's something poetic about Sneeko. By embracing the red pill and eating that taint, Sneeko was able to become rich.
My life has started to change for the better. I made more money last 2 months than I've made the past 2 years.
But in return, he's lost his YouTube channel, his girlfriend cut him. Now he's spending the holidays alone.
Your community around me. I've been saying to my chat, that's why my girlfriend is doing so well. Like my chat's my family. Like that's what I look forward to every single night. It's New Year's Eve, and I'm just excited to get on the stream, see all the same like usernames that I see. I talk to them all the time. So that's the family right now. Like, that's who I spend the most time with.
Bro, this is sad. All the money in the world living in Miami, and his chat is all he's got. The dude's literally the Scrooge. I actually want to end this video by finding some common ground with Sneeko, because he has said one thing that I agree with.
The alpha male. I know I'm not. I've never fucking once called myself that.
One other thing I want to bring up is Sneeko's.
It's funny because he only says that when people call him out for like pretending that he's like this fucking alpha male. But like he thinks that he is. He just doesn't explicitly say it. But when he's like, I could beat up women, like he thinks he's a fucking alpha male. Like when he challenges every other guy to fight, but then he won't, then he won't fight ones that can actually beat him up. He thinks he's like some kind of magical fucking alpha male. But
list, it's just a bunch of people that have bullied him in the past.
Hey, look at the soy boy collage. We added 2 to the top. Did you guys see there's another hippies video on me from another soy boy?
Imagine getting bullied by this guy. Well, I want to introduce my cuck boy. Sneeko's the only guy I know that wants 5 wives but can't seem to get one.
Hey.
Guy. Well, I want to introduce my cuck boy.
I stand with Ryan Beard.
Sneeko's the only guy I know that wants 5 wives but can't seem to get one.
That's insecurity. I'm deeply afraid of somebody calling me a pussy.
You're a pussy. There, I helped you overcome your fear. Shout out to the bots over on Patreon. Phoebes, Crimson Glass, Zombie Fox, River, Christina Bean, Detective Pika, Mac Monkey, Drink Kovacs, Boblax, Necro Valley, Stefan Billman, Abby Blackbird, The Confusing Opinion, Matt Swanson, Eddie Brizzle, and the Soy Boys, Reynolds Hughes, Hellison, IG, Jason Johnson, Taxi, Latchkey Godboy, Free Spirit Katie, Lore Reloaded, Papa Gun, Evan Do Things, and
I am a soy boy though.
Addy Chris. Thanks for watching. Follow me on Twitter, and until next time.
Sorry, Twitter's gay. Okay, good video. Very interesting. Always fun to revisit the Sneeko shit. I guess, but it was a good video. What's up, soy boy cucks? Yeah, I already covered the quiet thing. Somebody mentioned that before. I covered it a few days ago. But...
Feeling healthy by leaps and bounds. Making a dinner that makes their whole day.
I just posted it today, like 4 hours ago. So if you're interested. This guy's a weirdo. What the fuck? Like that. Yep, my favorite soy boy content creator, Papa Gut. Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah, brodor. Hold on, I gotta do that. Can you talk about our unique family? What is that? Is that some way more soy boy cuck shit? W videos today? Maybe. Hold on, let me just post this, these clips that I have to post on my Instagram and stuff. I'm trying to do the clips again, you know? Trying to generate some attention to my YouTube. But I think there's new ideas people before. did her sequence get denied by the blindness trauma. I don't know what's going on with that. It's a Jewish adopted family that got exposed. What does that mean? Oh yeah, he got butthurt when I said that I was an alpha male, and see how to know that. Yeah, that was actually why. I said maybe the reason that women don't want to date you is because you're not a real alpha male like me that respects women. He got so fucking upset. It was so funny. It was so fucking funny, bro. Oh my lord. What's that? The lines of my jurist. I think that's why he doesn't fuck with me, because he realizes that like his own fucking cucked audience like doesn't hate me. That was epic. Minus drop. What's video is that? Minus text almost. Okay, I guess we could take a look at it. Okay, let me check this out. Somebody asked me to look at this. And Linus Tech Tips did a suspicious thing with a character from this. Almost ruined his career. Wow. Let's see what he did to almost ruin his career, guys.
Certain beauty and a curse that comes with live streaming. If you make a mistake, there's no undo button. You can't just cut it out. If it's there on a live stream, it's there forever.
Yeah. Feel that.
Yeah, you've seen time and time again that just saw this very phenomenon happen a month ago, where a big streamer named Patreon was live and untapped for a literal fucking nanosecond blasted fake porn on stream.
Why was this so bad? I thought it was like in the you know, this is why when you look at stuff, you gotta like look at it. I know it's a pain in the butt having typing in the same password, but it's worth the inconvenience, bro. Because now we got crying about, you know, people are crying about the thing, and I get that it can be like an uncomfortable thing, but there some of these people are acting like they were actually physically assaulted, and it's like crazy. Really messed this up. How am I supposed to make the deepfakes of Mosley from that's declassified now? They might make it illegal soon. They might make it illegal all because of you, dude. Okay? Do it.
Right? And that caused years upon years of work undone. Big porn, which revealed a lot of horrible things about the whole situation and everything that was going on there. What is on live streams, there's no going back, and we've seen time and time again this lead to the downfall of an entire career. And we almost saw it again last night with Linus Tech Tips. Linus has built an empire of killing live. He is an incredible creator who has done amazing work for so long now. And last night he almost wiped his ass with the entire fucking thing.
I mean, it's been kind of eye-opening. I've randomly here and there picked up episodes of, you know, old shows that I haven't watched in a long time, from like the early 2000s, and just the casual sort of gay humor.
We've entered the danger zone here on stream. This is like Chernobyl just waiting to melt down because of something he's about to say. But to paint the picture, what he's talking about here is how not that long ago things were more acceptable in content and media that aren't acceptable today. Talking about how things have changed.
Yeah, that's why Shane Dawson's innocent. He's not innocent, but like the things he did were considered acceptable. Okay, and people are like, oh, he's a bad blah blah blah. Oh, listen, I'm trying to be friends with Shane Dawson. At this point, I don't care. Like I just don't understand. Like I'm not saying that what he did was good, but he stopped before we called him out. Before he had a disproportionate meltdown. It was really edgy. You guys are acting like we have this habit of assigning negative attention on everything on the internet. And you know what? I am fucking watching it down so hard. That's how hard I'm fucking. I don't care it. Okay? I don't fucking. Oh, this is your worst take. Every day, every take I have is somebody's worst take. Thank you so much. Nobody's like, oh, this is the worst take you've ever had. Bro, and then everyone's the best take you've ever had. What do you want me to tell you? Okay? I'll tell you that I just got my ass kicked. The cat was asking for it. I'm just kidding. But, you know, this is just how the world is, bro. It's how it used to be. And it's changed now, and that's okay. But, you know, Jesus. Alright? So, I think you can tell like all shows would have casual game for sure. Back in the year 2000, that was a very common thing. Calling something... Why Shane? Because everybody, like, virtue signals over Shane as if he's, like, the worst person in the entire fucking world. It's actually just obnoxious. It's pathetic. He's a bad, it's just annoying. So that's why I'm just, like, fucking dumb as hell. Okay? So... This fucking donation is killing me. Hold on, I gotta wait for it to come
Super chatted $2. I know Mosley is out there deep faking you the bomb.
That's what I'm saying. I agree. Thank you so much for the support.
Pretty much everywhere for everything. True. If someone got a cheeseburger that didn't have enough cheese on it, they'd say, that's gay. If you were walking
True.
started to tumble down the stairs, you'd be screaming, this is gay! Like, all the way down. If a buddy of yours asked to bring his girlfriend along to, like, the boys' night out, you'd say, stop being gay.
I mean, I sometimes still do that. I know that I shouldn't. I'm trying to work with the language. And I have mostly got it down pretty better, but sometimes those facts kind of gay. But now I just say it if I think it's gay. Like, if your girl uses a strap on you, no, I wouldn't do that. That's okay. Well, no, it's not. I'm gonna it's a girl doing it. Okay. Whatever, dude. You're cool. I'm not.
That's what he's talking about. He's saying, you know, it hasn't been that long. Going back and watching shows that still have that humor in it was jarring to him.
No.
Casual use of the hard R.
Oh, really?
It's jarring. Yeah, it's jarring now. And
casual use of hard R.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Like okay, I was episode.
I respect it.
And it was just like, yeah, it wasn't shock value. It was just like used.
Buckle your seatbelt because this ride.
I mean, listen, not for nothing. I'm gonna be real with you here, okay? The first season was the one that had the hard R in there, and that was arguably the best season. And now the 11th season. There are no bad people that are black. All the bad people are white because they're so afraid of actual representation. Like, God forbid black people are human and can be bad guys. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying that we should be throwing out casual N-words, but they did say, Merle said it, who was a racist character, and it really drove home how racist he was. And now, if you notice, they won't even make a black bad guy because they're afraid of it's coming off as racist, even though black people can also be bad guys too. Like, holy fuck, hot take, am I right? So, you know, we've gone, I'm just saying, dude. You know, The Walking Dead was terrible. His last season was abysmal. It was awful. It was awful. So, I'm just saying.
It's getting real bumpy now. The train is getting off the tracks. We're going wacko mode here. So, hard R, as I'm sure all of you probably understand, is a very serious slur.
It's pretty bad.
Like,
yeah,
that's, you know, that's not,
bad.
you know, empty calories. That's no kind of potato.
The hard, the R slur is what we're talking about, right? That's a pretty bad slur, and people act like it's not a slur, and you gotta stop, because it is. Stop saying slurs, guys. I know it's about the N-word.
That's a big fucking slur. And he's saying that it was used casually back in the early 2000s.
It kind of was.
The example with American Dad. Now, with my hand on a stack of Bibles, I'll just tell you, I'm not the biggest American Dad fan. I'll just be honest with you. I haven't watched a ton of it. I'm not the biggest spectator of the show. So maybe this episode he's talking about flew under the radar. I never heard of it, never watched it. But
that took me by surprise, and I really love Luke's reaction, his co-host here, because you can see him like, hard R, excuse me, what kind of fantasy land are you living in, Linus, where hard R's were casual?
Back in, it was more casual on the internet. I don't know about like in the mainstream, but what, let's see. No, we can't pop it. We're all good people, bad cope. Yeah, true. I'm fucking been more racist. It was in 2010 is when they dropped the R slur. The thing is like, obviously by 2010 we realized we shouldn't be using slurs, obviously. But like on the internet, things were more palatable. Well, it's like considered more like LOL, because like only people on the internet were white people back in 2010. Okay, that's pretty much it. White nerds controlled the world, and they would just say the N-word all the time because they were fucking racist. But in media, it was used as lower. I don't know about the American Dad. I feel like that can't be real. But like I said, Walking Dead, it was crazy, bro.
Because
I, and American Chad,
probably everyone else in the world, can't really recall a time where normal TV shows were dropping racist slurs casually like that.
Well, right, well, I mean, here's the thing, right? That was in 2003 or something, 2002. Like, I'm not gonna deny that I dropped my fair share of hard R's back then, because we didn't even, the term hard R didn't even exist. We didn't think about it, right?
It existed. We just didn't think about it. Listen, I did too, bro. I'm not even trying to be rude. I talk about this all the time. Like, I used to say that shit all the time when I played, like, Dota and stuff. Mostly to other white people, really just to other white people. I mean, I wouldn't have known if they were black or not, because I'm an idiot. And I learned it from the internet. Like, I never grew up saying any of those things. I used to think they were, like, I never did. And I'm not proud of it. But, like, back then, you're a fucking, especially a white kid, like, what do I know? What word, there's no word you could use on me that's ever going to compare to using the fucking N-word on somebody. So the ability to empathize, especially for, like, a young idiot fucking white kid, it's not existent. I'm not proud of it. Then you get older and you're like, damn, that word hurts a lot. Not me, but, like, that's, you know, and you feel bad, and it's like, that's called growth, you know? You know, I used to say the worst things in the entire world to, like, all the people I play games with. Fucking every the slurs you don't even know exist, okay? We used to wish cancer on each other. I mean, the internet was a fucking wild place, bro. Yeah, you disappointed that if you haven't heard this take like 17 fucking times. I'm not shy about it. I'm not proud of myself, but this is what happened, bro. I'm not gonna pretend that I never did any bad things ever, okay? I'm like the dragon from Skyrim says, bro. Who's better, the evil guy that overcame it or the guy who's always been good? You know what I mean, dude? I'm not proud of it, but that's the fucking world was back then, man. It's unfortunate, you know, especially in online spaces. Shit. It's shameful. It's a damn shame, brother.
Oh, wow.
It's a damn shame. You know, I'm not reporting on myself. I don't care. I can't submit for this. I actually pay for something to do that. Back in my days.
As a big fan of Linus, when I heard that, I had to stand up in my chair and stand up like him. I was like, all right, so I felt like a coach who just wants his team to lose the championship ball game. Like, I take my hat off and put my chest to say a prayer for him. And that was like, God rest his soul. This is the end of Linus. And you can see Luke, like, he shakes his head like in disbelief, and he's just looking down. And I already know during
Linus just likes Call of Duty. It's not his fault, okay? That's where it comes from. Online video games, alright? That's it. Okay?
this moment where Linus is like admitting to using hard R's casually, he's processing this as like, yep, back to the old grind.
Yep, cancel. Yeah, you know what it is? I think it's like for a lot of, like, especially like ignorant, like people, back in the day, it was like, what's the edgiest word you can say? And it was the N-word, bro. There was no meaning behind it to me, you know? And then you get older and you learn, and it's like, goddamn. But I think that's really what it comes from. It's like, you know, you don't understand, like, the deep negative impact that it has.
This is where it all is, huh? This is the end of our run. You can just see all the walls around us starting to crumble. The Empire turning to a crystal because Linus is really admitting to it. Actually, like, on this fair,
he was having the like that, you know, which is also bad, and by the way, shouldn't be accepted as acceptable as it, because it's still too accepted today, which comes from like a lack of consideration for people with intellectual developmental disabilities, and even physical disabilities, but it's more for people that are like higher support needed with mental disabilities, and we don't value people like that enough in society. That's a whole other conversation. But hey, even if he was talking about the N-word, bro, he's not wrong. Not like back in like 2010 or whatever. But that's probably why he was talking about it. That's probably what he was talking about.
Navigational data received.
Great.
What
are you guys talking about? Am I mistaken?
I think so.
This is kind of funny,
No,
though.
the one with the, like, for, like, mental disabilities.
I'm pretty sure people use hard R in a very different way than you just used it.
Oh.
Okay, hard R means ending.
I understand what you mean. No, I'm not talking about that.
You can feel life.
That one
breathe back.
That one's still bad, by the way. Okay.
Into the room. Like once Linus elaborates that, he wasn't talking about the N-word. He was talking about the word used with mental disabilities. And collectively, all at once, the whole room comes back to life. This reminds me of a very famous quote from the late, great Uncle Ben, God rest his soul. When he sat down Peter Parker in that car and he said...
Yeah, back then, like, yeah.
With great power comes great responsibility. In this case, it's with great power comes great fucking blunders. This was an amazing disaster to watch unfold with, like, the wackiest plot twist of a time. I have never once heard the hard R refer to anything other than the racist slur. So when he just started using it casually, I couldn't believe like I did years, and I told every soul and expressing each other, saying like, hey, really enjoyed our time together. Like I have no doubt that's why the scariest moment there for years. I just for so long admit to using the hard R. And then the hard R talking about racist shit, maybe referring to something entirely in the environment, and then this is the aftermath of that.
Isn't it kind of sad, though, that, like, oh, sigh of relief thing, he wasn't normalizing one slur. That's so much better. Like, it really does go to show you how progressive we are, or how, like, how we still are with the speed of one slur. Where, like, it's okay, it's exponentially more societally acceptable to use that word. Like, it's kind of sad. You know? It's still kind of sad, because that word really is so normalized, and it shouldn't be. Because it's deeply offensive to people, especially those with intellectual and developmental disabilities. And like we don't care as a society. It's just sad. And it's like, oh, it was the N-word. He was just talking about the R slur. Okay, thank God. Thank God he's just disrespecting people like fucking Down syndrome and not like real people, like black people. It's like, you know what I mean? Like it's just kind of sad. It's just kind of sad. It shouldn't be such acceptable. You know, and I've even seen people make there's two different meanings with the R slur. People just say things, they don't actually have people with intellectual disabilities. I don't know how many times I've heard people justify the usage of the N-word by saying it doesn't have anything to do with black people. No, it just means lazy people. But it's like, bro, like, it's the fucking cope is so real, you know? It's just like sad. And I understand that like the R slur socially isn't as bad as the N-word. I do understand that, but like it should be the same. Like that's where we're at. I'm just saying we should kind of work to be more respectful. There's a lot of people like with very incredibly like high functioning ADHD problems that are like, well, I don't mind it because I don't need it. Like people like me, not the ones that are being targeted by as people. It's the individuals that like they publicly say like this is really offensive to me. You know what I mean? And it's like just don't say it publicly. You can say it privately, I guess, if you want to be your thing, but like you know what I mean?
Now we've got 4 times more items to give you more ways to create, only at Michaels.com.
And it's just like, you know, the conversation's just all fucked on that. So.
Okay.
I'm freaking Neo over here, dude. We're not just rolling.
Okay, yeah. Right. I forgot about the part where I said, yeah, I just like, you had no, actually.
Breathe. Everything's okay. Cool.
I hope everyone likes not having to drive anymore on Monday. Apparently I'm a giant racist.
We didn't lose our money in the bank crash.
Yeah, totally.
The audience run. What a journey we went on for about 2 minutes there with this whole section. Yeah, I want to talk about this because this
Navigational data received.
Committing career suicide with a smile on their face during it. Big misunderstanding here, I suppose. And yeah, I just wanted to talk about it a little bit. That's really about it. So, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't know, man. What's happening right now? Speaking of R words, I'm just kidding. I'm so sorry. That was fucking the worst joke I've ever made. Jesus. Man. Let's say it's a little disappointing. It is a little disappointing, like how regressive we are when it comes to the R slur. That's all I'm saying. And how like everything is, we're all relieved that he didn't actually say the N-word, which is a bigoted slur against black people. He was just saying the R slur, which is a bigoted slur against people with disabilities. vids said. Stop. Sorry, guys. That was wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. It was like an intrusive thought, guys. Remember I said I have ADHD? I can't think of it. I have a disability. I don't think of it before I have a disability. I'm literally a neurodivergent minor. Okay? I'm literally a neurodivergent fucking minor. Okay? I'm just saying. Yeah. Thank you so much for the small gut. Was it Iman O'Brien? Hope you're having a wonderful day. That's your gut. Yeah, right now in the chat. I love how the person who cares give me a quick break. I just want to be able to think of it, sure. I'm not going to put makeup on it. I'm making it into a video. I'm fucking terrible. Exactly. No, I just pay attention. Well, here's the thing. I don't want to be known as like a good guy. Like, not I don't want to be known as a bad guy, but I want to just be known as like a guy on the internet. Stupid. So, you know, it's part of my character to be very ignorant unintentionally. So, let me go pee real quick. I'll be right back.
Come on, Papa. Where you at?
You know, I'm kind of curious about this. I saw this video from Michael Knowles that's talking about how apparently somebody from the Daily Wire, like, left because of how transphobic Matt Walsh are. Which is mostly Matt Walsh, but, you know, I think that Michael Knowles is just kind of like, come on, right? Anyway, apparently a reporter from the Daily Wire left because of how, like, transphobic they are. Here's the thing, I can understand, I'm obviously trans-affirming, guys. Based trans-affirming king, but I can understand some skepticism around the conversation, especially now where like everybody's identifying as non-binary, and it can be a little bizarre and overwhelming, especially for an old boomer like me. You know what I mean? So it might be like, oh, I don't really get it. I get that, and that's fine. But like the hatred, it's not the skepticism that I question. It's the hatred from Matt Walsh and the absolute hatred of trans people. The way that he talks about it is actually insane. Like, it's incredibly disrespectful. It's frankly, I think it's like borderline. It's obsessive, frankly. And I think that's probably what I'm curious to see about here.
don't you summarize for us, why you decided that you should step away from the Daily Wire?
I think they crossed the line for me that I was not going to cross. I was uncomfortable with some of the videos that Matt Walsh put out a few weeks ago. I was sort of looking for a way out, but then when Michael Knowles said during CPAC that we need to eradicate transgenderism from public life, I thought this is just going to do real damage to, everything that myself and other people involved are trying to accomplish.
That's base, bro. That is a normal conservative. Somebody who's probably just like a little apprehensive about trans people. They don't quite get it. They question it because you should question everything. And they're not their lack of understanding or their perspective on trans people doesn't come from hatred. It comes from just wanting to make sense of the world. And I can get it. Michael Knowles and Matt Walsh, they crossed the line towards massive amounts of disrespect to trans people and invalidation. That's what
Y'all, right there's got just what you need for your home. So they have stylish men and great
it comes down to it's disrespect. It's just hate. It's not like skepticism, which is fair. It is just hatred. And this person, that's your normal conservative. That's how conservatives feel about trans people. They're I don't get it. But I don't hate these people. Most conservatives hey, do what you want with your body once you're an adult, but if you're a kid, I don't think you should be able to do this kind of stuff. I get that take. Just normal human take. But it's crazy that Matt Walsh is so much that the Daily Wire
In your piece talking about why you left, you describe yourself as a pro-choice Democrat for your whole life, who felt like there was some legitimate reporting around trans issues, particularly with respect to children, that brought you to this work, and that you appreciated the opportunity to write about these issues at the Daily Wire, despite having some perhaps broader ideological disagreements, that you liked.
Oh, I guess she was more of a this person was more of a Democrat. Okay, that's good. They say pro-choice Democrat.
Particularly for your whole life. Your piece talking about why you left, you describe yourself, I believe, as a pro-choice Democrat.
Okay, so they're more progressive.
The Daily Wire, despite having some perhaps broader ideological disagreements, that you liked Matt Walsh's film, What is a Woman, because in your view, he wasn't antagonizing or belittling his interview subjects. That's people can make their different decisions about that, but that he allowed them to basically do that to themselves by having incoherent answers to his questions. Subjective, obviously, but that's your view. So how do
specifically the affirmative model of care is going to solve a lot of problems, and we need to be able to have conversations about it. It's not about, eradicating transgenderism. It's impossible. There's always going to be transgender adults. It's a fact of life. You can't lump them all together. There's people with gender dysphoria who are not ideologues. And we should respect people's decision what they want to do with their life.
When the headlines came out about...
Yeah, so basically all they're saying there is, hey... Oh, this is Michael Knowles. All they're saying there is hey, listen, trans people exist, but I think that their argument is that we have too oppressive, which might be young people to be trans, maybe that they are not. I don't know if they're actually just conservative or longer. Either way, it's perfectly reasonable to be skeptical. But the hatred, again, that's the take. It's trans people exist, and I understand that, but we should be hurting, which I agree with fundamentally. I don't know if we're being too hurting. Maybe we are, maybe we aren't. But the idea is that we have to be intelligent, diagnosed, and we treat this and make sure we're diagnosed, which I think is perfectly reasonable to make that this and my kid and my wife, what was best, and I'd get multiple opinions. But I could understand, like, you know, you're being young. I mean, how do you make that decision? I mean, like, you're still so young in that sphere. So I can understand the skepticism. And, you know, that's why I hope I never have a trans kid. I don't know if I'll be able to fucking deal with it. Like, I will deal with it. I will be able to. It'll be, like, such a hard choice to make. Man. Just a reasonable, conservative, like, progressive take. Or a reasonable, like, human take. I'm not even saying conservative. Like, you know, it's like, being a kid is confusing, you know? And there are social circles where some things are more and less accepting. And, you know what I mean? I'm not saying we should be less accepting. I'm just saying, like, how do you really know? It's just like, until you kind of get out of that kid sphere. Because in school, no, they're not going to lose any sleep over it. That's not the point. The point is that, like, it's crazy. But there's spheres in school are so weird and toxic. Like, there's, like, nerd spheres, there's fucking, like, what is it called? Like, the popular spheres. When I was a kid, and I felt like metal was fucking base, and anybody who, like, knew metal was, like, a cringe loser. Like, it's so weird how kids are. And I'm not saying they're manufacturing trans people, but I'm just saying, like, you know, we should be careful of that. That's all I'm saying. That's the whole question. I imagine
I know that you're talking about gender identity ideology. I just think it was a really, really stupid choice of words. And you know you're going to scare the kids out of people when you say that. People believe that gender identity is fixed. They think that it's biological and being gay is. And when people hear that, they know that you're wrong. It just felt very intentional what they were saying.
being gay. I mean, I don't know how'd that even hit me? Are you fucking kidding me? Whatever. What does that even mean? I'm just confused about that.
And when people believe that gender identity is fixed, they think that it's biological, like being gay is. And when people
biological,
will hear that, you're going to think you're wrong. But it just felt really intentional that they were expecting a huge message out of it. I talked to a lot of parents and health professionals in blue states dealing with this in their communities, trying to help people see reason. It's not helping them. So if it's not helping the situation, you have to ask yourself, when is it helping?
Yeah, and you wrote that you said that Walsh gave that it was a good PR move, that you basically had to, we wanted to not convince anybody with those kind of statements, but to frighten people into a kind of submission. And I take it that you think that strategy, one, isn't especially useful, and also that it's harmful.
Yeah, we call it hate farming. I think that's what he's doing. He's just
to what you describe as, trans friends of yours who are, adults and whose, ideology doesn't conflict at all with what you are pursuing as a journalist.
I want to do away with the affirmative model of care. I want more individualized assessments for people seeking transition services. I have no interest in the culture. Detransitioners, like, there exists proof that gender identity is not fixed. And many of them are young women on the spectrum, like I am. We need a better evaluation process.
It's interesting because my understanding is there's a correlation between having autism and like having or identifying as trans as capacity. And it's very interesting. I just don't understand it fully. It's just a very interesting concept. Like, I wonder why that is. Like, why there's it's called like a comorbidity being like trans and having autism. I wonder if it's just like an interpretation of the world and how you interpret gender and whatnot. It's interesting. Just because you might have autism doesn't mean that it doesn't mean an invalid identity. But it just sounds like this person just wants to be careful, make sure that we're properly identifying people with like gender dysphoria, so make sure that they are happy as possible. That's perfectly reasonable. That's a perfectly reasonable thing. I mean, I agree with that. You know what I mean?
We cannot just affirm everyone who is different. Care recognize that people can socially so it's the affirmative model of care. It's not the transgender problem, and I don't want to frame it.
The shifting, the concern that some parents who are otherwise Right, being too easy, it being too easy or too abrupt or too immediate to have a child go in for a consultation and be prescribed something that would be along the path to transition.
So I don't know if this part is true. That's the thing. I mean, I'd have to see like what they're referring to. Where is it that easy to just get a diagnosis? I feel like it's probably not. You know, and just get pushed through. Maybe it is. It's something that we should certainly be like. We should certainly be questioning. That we I need to see something on that.
Sure.
Being your own barista?
I had 3 knee replacements. When you go through a medical event, you
Alright, let's turn up for the last, maybe the last hour it is.
Check out this canoe. Slap your dick beaters together for me, Funky Cody J. Because it is time I'm sorry. Can we make this intro like less terrible? Was that? Make it funny that I'm embarrassed? Wow, great. Thanks, Mom. I don't know why I even have an earpiece that's directly connected to your voice constantly. In my nicest and onlyest suit, set up these lights and cameras, said my good luck prayer to the Mesopotamian wind demon Pazuzu, and sat down to deliver the news to you fine people. And then I just quiffed it. Sharded nonsense from my pretty little mouth. A real terrible start. I just got here. Everyone's looking on the place, and here I am, having this terrible start. Just a really bad start. Made a big stink of getting here, and now I'm here, in this job that I wanted to have. And it's just a really, really, really bad, really terrible and bad. Checking in to the House GOP. Really bad start. Hey, so here's a totally unrelated thought. Remember how we had those midterms a few minutes ago, and it's good for the GOP? There was a brief moment of reflection that most of us were pointing fingers. Donald blamed Trump, Trump blamed McConnell, Biden blamed Trump, blamed abortion. So many old conservative men all fingering each other. But of course, Donald Trump got the deepest fingering of them all. Overall, this moment of reflection seemed to be everyone conveniently blaming whatever they didn't represent, and ultimately nothing's learned. Ben Shapiro claimed that the midterm failure was because of frivolous bull steaming. Gross. Ben. Only to hastily add that he wasn't talking about the culture war, because that would of course implicate him. So overall, pretty embarrassing stuff. But hey, at least they were able to just barely win back the House. And so we thought it would be fun to bring up the score of this new GOP by how it's up to. You know, because the midterms were so ethically mortifying for them, and so they were rhetoric. And so one would think that they would be on their best behavior now that they have the House. So let's take a hearty gander, starting with selecting the House Speaker.
They have now finished their first round of voting today, and after multiple votes yesterday, again today, stage here of the new Congress is there, ready to be sworn in.
And he seems like, at least at this point, he is not over the finish line, and again,
Somebody just held somebody back. Stephanie, just look at that. It looks like a fight breaking out on the floor.
Kevin McCarthy has been elected Speaker of the U.S. House of Representatives amid heated exchanges which almost saw fellow Republicans come to blows. It took 4 days, 15 votes, and numerous concessions. But the 20 or so rebels within his own party were eventually persuaded.
This comes after 15 rounds of voting since Tuesday. This also the first time in more than a century that a nominee for Speaker failed in the first round of voting.
Oof! And might I add, wowzas! And of course, a bazinga to be safe. So after an entire week of very public infighting, the party managed to become the House Speaker after 15 rounds of voting. This, let's call it, victory, was obtained only after the Kev agreed to a large number of concessions. Specifically, he gave these ultra-conservatives special approval powers that would enable them to block any legislation they didn't like, as well as the ability to allow any single lawmaker to force a vote for a new House Speaker. You know, the whole problem with Congress is that they take forever to do anything because of countless ways or individuals that can slow down or stop progress. Well, good news, this makes it even worse. For example, raising the debt limit, or even getting a vote to raise the debt limit is unlikely under this new dynamic. Not to mention that it's generally a bad sign when a political party with a House majority can't even agree on who should lead them. Lord help them if they ever try to watch something on Netflix together. And I can't stress this enough. This is the first thing that they had to do. We're talking early January with several years or centuries until the next election. And there's already a near physical fight on the House floor. And look here, Chappie. This is going to be the entire video. We're going to start in January and walk you through every notable action the GOP is taking since getting House majority. Yes, we'll give you some context as we go. Maybe I'll put some stink on it, but we're not cherry picking for just bad stuff. Keep in mind, there will be a big derailed train-sized elephant missing from the room, and that's only because we'll be covering that at a later date. And in the future, we will absolutely do a similar video for the Democrats. And I guarantee that in both cases, we're going to discover these two categories. Actual attempts to govern and performative partisan enforcement. And while I can give you each of those separate sections, perhaps corresponding quite nicely with our ad breaks, I'd honestly rather do this chronologically. I think it's a better, more visceral experience for maximum sadism. Because I, Funky Cody J, enjoy hurting you. You're like the Anastasia Steele to my Mr. Gray. And yes, that character's name was Anastasia Steele. And yes, I'm telling you that because I want to hurt you. Put up our first month. January, the first month. Oh yeah, solid month. It's got that J at the beginning because it's hooking you into the rest of the year. And on J the 9th, Mr. Earl Leroy Buddy Carter, representative for Georgia's 1st Congressional District, introduced something called the Fair Tax Act. What the Fair Tax Act would essentially do is two main things. Eliminate the IRS and, by extension, all taxes on income, payroll, and estate, and in its place, create a blanket 23% sales tax on all items. Although, according to tax perverts, that number would be closer to 30%. Now, I'm going to be fair and more balanced and say that there are places online where you can see the predicted benefits of such a plan. Here's one of them, Wikipedia's, for example, which points out that 80 economists signed a petition saying this would boost our economy. Of course, that wiki is only as good as its citations. And in fact, according to other experts, what we're really looking at here is a clever way to punish lower and middle class Americans while giving the wealthy massive tax cuts. You don't really need to consult a gross book learner to realize that a huge sales tax is going to struggling to afford stuff while favoring the wealthy. We actually did a whole video about how being poor is more expensive than being wealthy, and I will sum it up by saying lower income groups tend to have to buy things a lot more frequently and with a larger percentage of their income. And so this Fair Tax Act isn't actually fair at all, really. This was also pointed out by a researcher at the Tax Policy Center, which in fairness was one deemed propaganda by the Wall Street Journal's editorial board, which in even more fairness is also against the Fair Tax Act. As they explain, this is all dependent on repealing the 16th Amendment that gives Congress the right to tax incomes,
which almost certainly won't happen. To repeal any amendment, for example, just to pick one at random, the second one, whatever that is, you'd have to create a new amendment. For that to pass, you then need a 2/3 majority vote in both the House and the Senate. Technically, those 2/3 could call for a constitutional convention as well, but that's literally never happened for any amendment. Either way, you need at least 34 states to agree to it. And that's quite hard, especially when the country it's very divided right now. I don't know if you've noticed, it's not a divided nation. It's a problem. And it should be noted that those economists who signed that petition did so assuming that the 16th Amendment would be repealed. We ourselves have done a video about what a mess the IRS is, but as the Wall Street Journal also points out, this act would simply replace the IRS with not one, but two new bureaucratic entities called the Sales Tax Bureau and Excise Tax Bureau that would no doubt become underfunded and corrupt. And unless they completely shut our tax greatly risk this sales tax hike on top of the regular taxes we already have. And so when you factor in the current uproar over inflation, this just seems like a really bad idea, right? Especially since, as we noted in that video, the tax industry is big and would almost certainly lobby against any legislation that seeks to put them out of business. Not that that is a reason not to try. But putting aside the political viability of all of this, what it still really comes down to is that this plan would screw over the lower and middle classes. And it's bad. It's bad if you're a Republican, and it's bad if you're a Democrat. Even if you don't care about the middle class, this would be tying our entire tax system to commerce, which means that it could fluctuate greatly depending on our economy. If there was like a pandemic, that might affect everybody's spending. You know, it might also disincentivize people from buying some products like cars or expensive sex swings if there's a huge added tax. If you are perhaps claiming to like small businesses, well, this added tax will probably make people shy away from anyone who can't offer incredible discounts. It is very clearly anti-small businesses. And if you do like the middle class, it generally seems very bad to link our tax system directly to our capitalist system. That's a step in the wrong direction. So no matter what you believe in, it's bad. I mean, unless you're rich, you know, and if that's the case, I don't know, give us your money. You're watching this, you naughty rich little Richie, you. Give us your money, okay? Give us money. I just keep buying those fucking Pazuzu totems. By the way, the Fair Tax Act was only one way in which the new House went after the IRS. One of their very first moves, also on J the 9, was a vote to cut funding to the IRS. Something that certainly won't happen once it gets to the Democratic majority in the Senate. They just really don't like taxes or funding things, even if it doesn't make any sense. Because another thing they did a day later was pass a rules package. This is a standard thing that happens at the beginning of every school season, or whatever they call it in Congress. And part of this rules package is a swap from the pay-go model to the cut-go. Pay-go stands for pay as you go. The idea there is that any cost of new legislation would be offset by either tax increases or spending cuts. You can probably guess what cut-go means, which is that from now on, any new legislation funding can only be replaced by spending cuts. No taxes. They hate taxes and love fiscal responsibility, which is odd because according to the Bipartisan Committee for a Responsible Federal Budget, the cut-go system would only work if they did the same thing for when they cut taxes. Except they didn't do that. In other words, if you want to put more money into something like Medicare or any new legislation, under this cut-go rule, you'd have to cut something from the budget. However, if you want to, I don't know, cut taxes for corporations, you don't have to offset that with something else. And so to quote this committee, it is not fiscally responsible to be anti-spending if you aren't also anti-borrowing.
As they note, the last time a GOP-led Congress did this back in 2017, it ultimately raised the debt. And so going back to their proposal to pull IRS funding, the Congressional Budget Office has estimated that this hypothetical cut would increase the deficit by over $114 billion over the next decade, which, to be fair, is a small fraction of our military spending. But see, here's the thing. For all my Republican viewers, my massive lick demo, as we call it, the governing goal for conservatives is, of course, small government and fiscal responsibility. And perhaps it should concern you lick demos that what we're seeing here doesn't really do either of those governing goals. Like, I don't think cut go or pay go are actually that great, because I'm a woke commie moralist or whatever. Or to be specific, I think both methods put limitations on what we should be trying to accomplish by focusing on spending. But besides what I think, what I find interesting is that these proposed measures really seem to be bent toward political grudges and tax cuts for the wealthy, no matter the actual effect it would have on the debt or middle class. They might look fiscally conservative, but the more you think about them, the less sense they make. Oh yeah, nice ref for the 13-year-old film. We're not...
Alright guys, I made the wrong choice, so I didn't mean to refuse, so I'm gonna close that, and that's gonna stop the game, so, or stop the stream, so.